George, are you ready to show everybody where our new home is?
Before we show you, we want to show you why the Hales would we buy where we bought.
What did you say?
I said, Jeremy, I'm a huge fan.
George is out in the parking lot. Look at that. Am I on the naughty list?
Every meeting. And you're going to bring the police because you removed me from this.
I didn't start this war with the neighbors.
But I've
I have anxiety over the roof.
Discussing over
And
the last several minutes. If you start to get aggressive with
I
him,
can't take
he
it.
now
I
is showing
can't,
willingness
sir,
to
I
drive
cannot
more
hear you very
aggressively
well.
to evade those officers. And
Not at
now
all. I have to
things
hold
are
you up to my
inherently
ear to
amped
hear
up
you.
to
Something
a
is wrong.
slightly
Can you
more
please
dangerous
check your
level,
mic?
I'd say.
I do not
I'm curious,
have
though, moments ago we were talking
perception
about it,
of time.
if that suspect, we talked
I
about
don't
the
have
suspect
perception
possibly
of
being armed,
date
and we
and
zoomed
time.
in.
I
Boy, it
do
looks
not,
like the police
and my
officer's gonna
brain
be
does
able to
not
maneuver
work
again.
that way.
Ooh,
My
it's
child
right-
just
it's
fell
right up
down.
behind them.
You
If
are
that
not
person
a
did
nice
have a weapon
person.
inside their hand. That was what I was trying to figure out.
Oh my
And so now
gosh.
that they have that
It's a
knowledge.
live
They have the
police
suspicion
chase.
that there may be a weapon in the vehicle there. They're going to
live
treat it
police
very
chase,
carefully.
guys.
But, they feel comfortable in the situation that
I
they
love
have
'em.
enough units in place where they
Love
can,
them.
spin the
Good
vehicle
to
out
see you, Frank.
and
Good to see you, sir.
make
Frank
the
Otter.
felony
Toy.
arrest. They have units ready. Again, each of these cruisers have 2 officers in them. They will immediately point their guns to that driver if he pulls anything scary or threatens those officers in any way. But the hope is that once the vehicle is immobilized, he will hopefully surrender. And they're giving him the benefit of the doubt. They don't want this to continue too long because the longer it goes, the higher the risk. Because eventually the driving is the behavior behind the wheel here, we've already seen it changing
Been going on for
slightly.
about
And of course,
45
if you
minutes now.
agitate the driver too much, you start to increase the risk
Thank
for
you,
all
Silver
of these
Eagle.
innocent motorists who
Appreciate
are
the
just trying
kisses.
to get home on a Thursday afternoon. So he's continuing now on Westchester Parkway, approaching Sepulveda.
boy.
And again, we're just a couple of blocks from LAX Airport.
Did that driver ever end up hitting either one of those spike strips? I know we were looking at it closely, but I just keep looking at that front passenger side wheel, and it looks slightly lower, but maybe just the rims are really big.
Yeah, I don't think so, but it was behind that building, so that's just my guess is that he was able to skirt around it. But once we get a little bit of a better look, a closer look, we might see if that tire is behaving any differently. Right now, he seems to be driving, again, relatively normal as he,
all that smog.
now northbound on Sepulveda Boulevard. So now northbound Sepulveda, away from LAX. That's a good thing. He's coming towards us. We're going to get a better look as he gets closer to us. And you can see it looks like the vehicle is driving nominally here. So here comes another pit attempt.
We're going to try to do a
the
pit.
Right side. And,
wow.
A little bit of a...
Oh, boy.
A little bit of a, I don't know, almost a weak attempt there. He didn't really
That was a weak
attempt.
attempt.
He just kind of...
The slight miss.
It's almost like he's got this car in cruise control, but I don't know if that officer had second thoughts. He got really close to him.
He did,
They may have even kissed the back bumper. I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell from this angle, but he certainly slowed down at the last second there. And it looks like the driver is drinking a bottle of water as he continues this joyride. So northbound Sepulveda, continuing the chase.
This guy. Yeah, they missed. That's exactly what I said. Hey, Debbie.
Obviously well aware of those officers in the rear view as he's able to
they missed big time.
evade these pit maneuvers and drive around these spike strips. Something tells me he's just going to take this to the very end as long as he's got gas in the tank.
Wow. Yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like we're all a little more anxious than the driver.
All right, here you go. Another pit.
Behind you. Come on, let's see.
You speed up.
I tell you, every time the police officer gets very close, he does speed up.
Yeah, well, it's you have to feel for these officers because in a situation like this, he could have a wide open berth on Sepulveda Boulevard 1 second, and then, on a dime, things could change. There could be cross traffic. There could be other traffic in the opposite direction. Here you see there's just not enough space for a pit maneuver. Way too many drivers on Sepulveda Boulevard. The opportune time would have been a little bit early on some of those surface streets where there was virtually no traffic. Now it's a little bit more of a precarious situation.
This guy.
I was a little surprised actually to see
stops
that
at red light
on Sepulveda, to be quite honest with you, but that may be why the officer slowed down at the last second there. He might have seen something that posed a danger there. So they don't want to spin him out unless they have, almost a full 4 lanes to play with. You don't want him crashing into parked cars and private property. You don't want to see him get into, a more dangerous situation with oncoming traffic. So it's got to be an area, a stretch of roadway where there's really nobody at risk. And that's what they're looking for. The speeds are not a problem. At these speeds, he is traveling at perfect pit maneuver threshold, but it's the congestion in the area that's preventing the next pit maneuver. Once they see that especially now that you've seen those first 2 attempts, we've now seen 2 attempts that we could say for sure.
He stops at red lights and stop signs.
And if they see another opportunity, I think that third pit is almost inevitable.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see it's amazing to see how light the traffic is right now as we approach the 5 o'clock hour. But again, this driver is definitely just going to kind of stay the course, keep going in directions that seems like they actually do not know where they're going.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe they'll get back on that 405 and
hey, somebody's got to get them.
Stuck,
yes.
But again, we're watching, you could see the marine layer kind of obstructing a little bit of the clarity that as we see this suspect just stopped at the red light.
And has he been in this intersection before? It seems like he's still circling that same general vicinity.
We're in the vicinity. In fact, he's at an intersection that gives him access to the 405 freeway. And I've got to tell you, the marine layer is moving in quick.
Wow.
So we've got an LAPD airship right overhead, and he may have only one more pass as the marine layer obscures this pursuit completely unless he makes an eastbound turn. He doesn't realize it. He doesn't realize. So he's traveling north. He's continuing north here, and if he made an eastbound turn, that would have been great. But as the marine layer moves in here, all of these helicopters are going to have to. Well, he will be out of visibility pretty soon here if he continues northbound. That's what I'm trying to say. He doesn't realize it, but he's actually doing the right thing. If he's trying to lose the helicopters, it'll be up to those ground units to finish this pursuit if the marine layer does indeed move in here, which it certainly is. You can see it in the picture here. If we widen out just a second, you'll be able to see a thick layer of clouds that are about to completely cover this part of West LA. So continuing up through Fox Hills,
West
LA.
LA.
Mall, up Sepulveda at the Fox Hills Mall, continuing at a slow speed, relatively slow speed, I would say maybe 35, 40 miles per hour, a relatively empty stretch of road here. We may see another pit attempt, or they may just continue northbound here. It looks like they're continuing northbound. Again, he's doing a perfect speed here, right around 30 to 35 miles per hour. If they see the opportunity, I have to believe they're going to go ahead with it. He's going underneath the 90 freeway now. He's had several attempts in the last few minutes to get onto a freeway, and that might be the first red light he's run. I'm not sure. I think
he just got a red light ticket. I saw the camera flashing.
I think that was a red light. This is definitely a red
Matty,
light.
It's been good to see you.
Here.
Good to see you.
And he's patiently waiting behind.
And look at these drivers, Alan. I think they're videotaping them. They hear the sirens, right? All of the drivers at this intersection hear the lights and sirens. They could see the commotion. They could see the commotion. They see the helicopter flying overhead. Something is up here, and now you take a very hands-off approach if you're that primary unit. You got to let them get through this intersection, get away from all of these innocent people before you do anything else. You
open fire now.
Him at
don't do that.
Red light here. He is stopped. He is waiting patiently behind this traffic, and they will continue the joyride with him here, northbound Sepulveda Boulevard. But you could just tell in the last 10 to 15 minutes, there's just a different energy down there. If he continues, they're going to have to employ more tactics, especially after giving those initial
more tactics
for the pit maneuver and the spike strip. now
That's
they're
such a
really
pretty
committed.
car.
Now
though.
they've got to
Why do you want to
follow this
pretty
all
car?
the way through until this comes to an end.
Chris, we're showing on the right side of your screen the failed pit maneuver attempts that happened just a few minutes ago. You can see, they got pretty close, but then they sort of backed away, and perhaps
he
factors
sped
came
up.
into play, other cars there. But there
He
you
did it
see
again.
the attempt, and it was so close.
I don't.
Oh yeah, I guess it was a little
Might have
nudge.
clipped him. Yeah.
Maybe just like you said, Chris, like a little kiss. But we are seeing that. And
you
you're
gotta do more than that.
right, that
Shoot out a tire.
The energy of this pursuit
Isn't that
has
what cops are supposed
definitely
to
been ratcheted up because of those pit maneuver attempts. And it looks like they're trying to do it again on the left-hand side.
Do it. Do it. Come on.
It looks like they want to give it another go here. He's speeding up. The minute he sees that primary unit come up behind him, he speeds up. He's once again stopped at a red light. What I was going to note there, I think
It's time
at
for
least
5 p.m.
3 or
rush
4
hour. I
times in the
know.
last few minutes, he's had a perfect opportunity
This
to get
is,
on the freeway, and he's bypassed
this
all
is
of
in
those
Los Angeles.
opportunities. Again, just trying to.
I guess it is
just
coming up
trying
on
to get
5
into his
p.m.
head here, trying to figure out where he wants to take
There
this.
he
It
goes.
certainly doesn't appear like he wants to get on the freeway. And
Nope.
again, every attempt at a pit maneuver, he just steps on the gas, floors it,
He's like, I got
and slows
V8
down
too.
again. So it's a game of cat and mouse. We use that phrase all the time, but this is a quintessential scenario where it's really, it's a tough game. It's a game of whack-a-mole because the minute you try and speed up
it's more like a game of like Grand Theft Auto.
It's here he comes.
Here he goes.
Here he comes, speeding up right behind him, and the pursuit vehicle speeds up again.
Oh.
Yep.
So curious, because if he really wanted to get away, you'd think he'd start speeding like we've seen in other pursuits. Yet he only speeds up when they attempt that pit maneuver.
No, that's smart.
They try to apprehend him.
Curious.
Then
You box him in and arrested him.
He gets that foot on the gas pedal and just floors it, but then eases up and goes back to a very calm pursuit. Except for I don't know, Chris.
Hey, good to see you, Heidi.
How quickly? I know we're pretty far away, but this driver is definitely driving at a much faster rate and being a little bit more aggressive as they approach these intersections.
Oh, well, he's only doing 35.
Because he speeds up once he sees that primary unit come up right behind him. He's basically going at their pace until they try to pit him, and then he speeds up. But then the minute he gets a little bit of distance, he slows down pretty much with speed limit, with traffic. And now once again, he stopped at Sepulveda and Washington Boulevard. Now we are getting more information trickling in here. He is apparently also wanted for robbery. So you can tell, as the information comes in here, you can tell this is not the best guy behind the wheel here, despite the tame nature of the driving.
Yeah.
We now have sexual assault,
ASP driving
robbery,
school.
possibly armed, obviously unwilling to give up here. He's wanted out of another jurisdiction. They are probably communicating with that jurisdiction, wherever it is, perhaps
I would agree with you. That's what they need.
Trying to get as much intel as they can. The only benefit there, well, there's a lot of benefits. One of the benefits is maybe they can get a relative on the line or somehow communicate with the suspect. Now, there's also a possibility, and we're hearing that this may be a likely possibility, something that we've been seeing more of in recent years.
Phoenix.
He may be listening to this pursuit on an app or possibly live streaming the pursuit. So they do have information that he is on the phone or has access to this stream somehow and is following along either on his phone or perhaps on the radio.
I know who that is.
You just never know.
That's one of my followers.
You really should just give yourself up and end this, and stop putting other people in peril and just
Nobody's in peril.
Go off the road and stop.
Yeah, just give it up. They
not
do
gonna get anywhere.
I mean, 99.9% of the time, these people are apprehended, but looks like they're on the freeway.
Just think how many views, clicks he's going to get though.
A moment it said Venice Boulevard, but yeah, it's so they're on the 405 North. You can see that marine layer moving in again. Our visibility is becoming reduced, and this I'm not sure if they ever try pit maneuvers on the freeway.
It's called clouds, woman.
Like this kind of. They're not going to try it when there's this many motorists on the road.
Yeah, no, that pit maneuver tactic is now off the table. That's been sidelined, and you mentioned it as we were talking there. He did take the opportunity for the first time in a while he is now
Get on the
back
interstate.
on the freeway, northbound side of the 405 freeway in the middle of rush hour, coming up on National Boulevard, speeding up a little bit, looking for any gap in traffic to put a little bit of distance between him and that primary unit, but they're following at a safe distance, not having a problem. You can see him slowing down with traffic. Let's see how much weaving we start to see here. That's something we always look for once they find themselves in a little bit of a bind, but he is on the 405, not nearly as empty as it was earlier on in this pursuit when he was on the freeway. And again, that poses, on one hand, it poses more danger.
He's just going for a little drive.
Hand, it is the
Hey, how you going, Daniel Berry?
Options, as opposed to a surface street where you have pedestrians and, you know, so many other variables. You know, the freeway.
It sounds so dramatic. Here in the UK, it gets dramatic at around 100 miles an hour.
There was less traffic. In case he gives up, in case they have to use force, you don't want any crossfire situations. You don't want him crashing into anybody if he gets spooked. Stuff like that.
Nothing.
But right now, you know, as we speculate about all of those possibilities, for the most part, he is continuing to drive relatively safely, dare I say. I mean, he's really not posing an immediate risk, which means they have the luxury of following this all the way through. And probably, in all likelihood, if they don't hand this off to California Highway Patrol, they will start to get to the point where they start talking internally about transitioning or transferring.
You know, there'll come a point where he'll just go, "Yeah, I'm done."
Group of LAPD officers. As far as we could tell, this is still all LAPD behind this vehicle.
All LAPD all the time.
Any of the units yet, but I would imagine, just judging on the length of this pursuit, it's almost time to hand this off to a new set of eyes and a new set of officers.
All right, Chris Christie, and we are handing it off to a new set of
guy's name is
right
Chris
now.
Christie. That
Michelle
sucks.
Fisher alongside me, I'm Giovanna Lotta, and we are continuing to follow this
Giovanna Lotta
in the Los Angeles area near LAX. This pursuit, LAPD pursuit. The suspect in this vehicle wanted for a sexual assault. And Chris, can you fill us in on what else we know about this?
Yeah, so information's been trickling in, Giovanna, on the details behind this chase. The suspect apparently wanted for an out-of-state warrant. Charges include sexual assault, robbery, and is potentially armed.
Just a normal Thursday in LA.
So
I
despite
know.
the tame nature of this pursuit, they are working with a very volatile individual behind the wheel who is taking LAPD on an extensive joyride throughout the city. This all started in the Carson area, or the Wilmington area. Eventually made his way through Carson, was on the freeway, on and off surface streets, ended up on the 405 freeway, where he eventually took the 405 up through Inglewood and has now been traversing the streets of basically the Inglewood area around LAX and Westchester for the last almost hour or so, until a short time ago when he finally got back on the freeway, taking Sepulveda Boulevard, and then eventually the 405 freeway into West LA here. And we are now firmly in West LA, in the Culver City, Cheviot Hills area, coming up on the 10 freeway. Actually, did we already pass the 10? I think he just passed. Yeah, he just passed the 10 freeway on the northbound side of the 405, Giovanna.
Okay, and as you mentioned, we've been following this now since about 4 o'clock. And what's different about this pursuit is that this driver has been really driving relatively slowly and carefully. We've seen other pursuits where suspects are speeding in and out of lanes, and
a lot of Lincoln Navigators out there.
He's only done this once or twice.
Hey, Zach, what's up?
Spike strips,
what a good Thursday night car chase and football on TV.
For the most part, even when they're right behind him, we haven't seen a lot of lane changing. Now you see him starting to weave a little bit more, and you know, he was hugging the left lane for a short time, but now as he ventures over to the right, all of those motorists hear the lights and sirens behind him, and he is just looking for gaps in traffic to get around. So instead of committing to one lane, everybody's trying to move over to make way for the pursuit coming up behind him. Thankfully, considering the time of day here, thankfully he is driving nice and slowly at a very safe speed. If that was not the case, this could get very, very dangerous. Thankfully, it is not the case, and he is traveling at a safe speed here. We'll see if they try and get another look. Look at that officer coming up behind him here. still keeping his distance here. They're not going to get too close with all of these innocent motorists in the immediate vicinity. But
they look innocent, but they're not.
They have already attempted several pit maneuvers over the course of this pursuit. But now that we're on the freeway, that's pretty much off the table for the time being. But they may pull up next to him to get a better look inside the vehicle, or even try and communicate with the suspect. But again, with all of this traffic, it's really just
he's doing it for the thumbs up. Kind of that's what he's doing. He's doing it for the thumbs up.
Trying to keep your distance, follow at a safe speed until
he's watching us right now. He's watching us watch him. That's what it is.
Now, it is.
They live in LA. Not one of them is innocent. That's right.
We're in stasis here. I mean, he's really just maintaining control of the vehicle and taking police along for a joyride here without acting very erratically, despite the somewhat violent nature of the charges.
Chris, you mentioned the traffic. When this first started around 4 o'clock, it was kind of an unusual sight because there wasn't much traffic on the freeway, which kind of would have given officers maybe some different options at that point. Now that traffic has picked up as rush hour really gets underway right now at 5 o'clock, what options do these officers have as they're trying to bring this to a close and you've got so many other people on the road trying to make their way home from work?
Oh, he'll give up.
Yeah, the option, unfortunately, is to keep your distance and wait it out. Let him get through the traffic, maybe get off the freeway. But at these speeds,
looks like there's someone in the back seat.
You don't want to do anything to agitate him in this situation. There's just too many lives on the stage here, and they're going to try and keep him as calm and relaxed as possible. These are all the same Harbor Division units that initiated this pursuit over an hour ago in South LA, or in the Harbor Division in Wilmington, I should say. And they are the same officers who are continuing this pursuit as we make our way through West LA. Now, we are getting, again, a few more details here. Apparently, this is a serial rapist that has been wanted out of the East Coast that they are following.
I say, take him out.
We learn more about
take him out.
It is very obvious now why they are not letting
shove him into one of those homeless camps and beat him up.
Kid glove care, especially considering the possibility that he's armed. And now, based on these charges,
he has 2 arms
that are being revealed here. They are dealing with a wanted
19
man
people watching, but this guy is one of them.
Are not going to
we got 24 people watching.
This is not a pursuit that they will just give up, and we see that frequently now.
And Captain Crunch.
You know,
that's probably what it is.
Times where they just basically decide, you know what, it's not worth it. The resources, for whatever reason, they just decide to let it go. This is not that situation. They are going to continue to apply pressure where it's safe. And where it's not safe, they will keep their distance and just follow slowly behind, hopefully at a nice casual pace here, doing below freeway speeds in the middle of rush hour, northbound side of the 405 freeway.
I wonder if he's got it on eco mode. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Stream suspended for policy violations. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. Oh, ABC got banned. Oh, let's see. That's funny. That's funny. It'll be back up here in a second. I love it. I love it. I love it when these things happen. What violations? Apparently, they don't like ABC watching these things. It'll come back up in a minute, though. Usually does. Oh boy. Let's see. ABC 7. Let's see. ABC 7. There we go. Here we go.
Up off the nose here. Now there's a little bit less traffic. Not exactly an empty Wilshire Boulevard, but if they see enough of a wide open space, this could be another situation where they attempt a pit maneuver. But Wilshire corridor does slow down a little bit. A lot of traffic lights through here, even in moderate traffic. I don't think they're going to have a real good opportunity
he's speeding up
on Wilshire Boulevard. But maybe if he gets off, maybe if he pulls off into one of these side streets along Wilshire, then they'll try it again.
Yeah.
Coming through the corridor here, also a possibility they could set up on the east side of the corridor with another spike strip. That's always a possibility.
I don't know.
Well.
Do they have
So
a long enough spike strip?
They're trying to think ahead, even though he has not really established a real clear pattern here. He's making it all up as he goes along, but he's traveling slow enough. That slow speed is giving the watch commander, who is also monitoring this pursuit very closely, more options to think about and deliberate on as this pursuit drags on through the afternoon here. We are now in hour number 2 of this pursuit as he continues westbound on Wilshire Boulevard, coming to a stop potentially at one of these red lights. He has stopped for almost every single red light. In this case, he's made a left turn off of Wilshire Boulevard, and he is now on one of those surface streets right behind the...
There we go. Now we don't have to worry about it. KTL
shows it. Looking out the window, helping my pilot navigate here through the Westwood area, but I did not catch that.
There we go.
This is a completely new area for this pursuit. It has not made its way up this far north, so we'll see what the driver decides to do. It's hard to say.
If you like Pitts, watch NST Natural State of Transparency. Oh yeah, nice, Debbie.
Turn here.
I think the big word "grape" on the screen. No. Copyright strike is not incoming, Scott. I am good. This is a different live feed. So they had been streaming that for probably about an hour at that point, hour and some odd minutes. And they don't like their ratings getting hijacked because nobody's watching theirs. And this is much better commentary because you can say, right now, he's saying, oh, I see, I will stop. It's sort of a California stop though. And then I'll speed up. Hey, I know this spot. Like if you turn left up here, you can get up in the windy roads. Just kidding. I saw it on Grand Theft Auto. Isn't that real life? Could even Scott Roberts, not me. ABC, no, that wasn't ABC. They were getting it off of ABC is where they were getting it. So that's where the problem was. Yeah, this is funny. Oh, and you see how fast he's really not going very fast. Oh, we got some good stuff for you guys tonight. We got some dramatic readings of the Sarah Boone. We got in case you guys didn't know,
spike strip.
Oh, did they get him?
Yes, definitely hit.
Oh, that to slow him down. Yeah, he's swimming. Yep.
Very close to
you can see it turn, sliding a little bit.
North, and that's
he's like, man, I just got these tires. They're new.
To get ahead of the vehicle and strategically putting that spike strip between cars.
Yeah, see how it's sort of driving a little bit sideways up the road. Sort of has that little bit of a. They might have gotten just one side or a couple of times. Oh yeah. Makes it a little harder for him to control. So if they pit him or if he tries to get back on the interstate, what are your bets that he gives up here soon? That's my bet. He'll just give up. But it's a possibility he could keep going. Let's go. Let's do a poll. What do you think? He gives up here? Nope. Doesn't look like he's got a flat there. So if he has flats, they're on the other side. Let me see what we'll do. We'll do the live here. We'll go to control room. Bring that thing up. Yeah, we'll do a little poll here. Left two tires are punctured. That would be the right two tires. Passenger side. Well, if you're in England, it'd be the driver's side. All right, let's do it. Let's add a new poll. He gives up soon or pit. That's what we'll do. Let's see. Copy. Cut.
Under us.
Yeah, well, damn it. What do we say? Let's see. Start a poll. Yeah, let's see. He gives up. Oh, damn it.
I would say so. In fact, I think he just turned into the medical plaza here at UCLA Medical Plaza. He's getting into the loop, so we'll see what the driver decides to do. Very dangerous situation if he tries to run into the medical offices here, just abandoning the vehicle. But the airship overhead, plenty of units on the ground there. He's going very slow.
There we go.
That's going to give the LAPD opportunity to do
that option
ahead of him if they want to try to do that. So we'll see what happens.
It's a like.
People getting in and out of their.
There we go. There's a poll up for you guys.
Blocking all the lanes.
Oh, bad duck. They're scared because he may be armed. Yeah. Yeah, it's not recommended to be in the line of fire. Never seen such moronic behavior. I know, bad duck. It's crazy. But at least he's, coming to stop signs.
Yeah, I think because there's a concern of the driver being armed, they don't want to get any officers in front of the vehicle, and then you're in a cross fire situation with the officers from behind. So there's also people trying to get in and out.
If don't get behind him,
they're likely going to just let the driver
don't shoot him in the behind
here as to jumping out, running, or coming back out on surface streets.
Well, they couldn't have gotten the left tires because I'm looking at it right here, and they didn't get the left tires. Channel 7 is idiots. Channel 7 doesn't know what they're talking about. The police do have their own weapons and body armor. Yeah. They would have gotten because I'm looking at it, and those tires on the left side, which would have been the driver's side, do not look flat. Ah, there they go. Yeah, they got them trapped in. Yeah, they got the two right side tires if they got anything. That's where they were at, was on the right side. Yeah, does that tire look flat to you? Yeah, those tires don't look flat on the oh, maybe they are. You might be right. Maybe they did get the left side. Watching this for 5 minutes.
Here it comes.
Yeah, well. No, you suck.
He's going to go back into the loop and nowhere to go with that. So he's going to have to drive around or bail out, one or the other. And
what do you think? He gives up or he bails out?
He really has no other outlet other than
it looks like it looked like they got him on the right side. Think you just keep driving around in circles? I mean, those tires just don't look flat.
I'm listening to them. There's cars coming out of the parking structure here, and those are the vehicles that were in the way initially. So they're trying to coordinate. See, here's a car coming out right there out of the underground parking. So they're trying to coordinate the flow of that traffic so that it kind of boxes them in, kind of funnels them into where the LAPD has the spike strip. So they might try it again. The driver knows that he's running out of time here, running out of space.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the driver decides.
It's like, damn it.
If he jumps out and runs or just runs right over those.
This guy over there with their cell phones. I bet they feel a little stupid if you open fire on them right about now, wouldn't they? Just feel like, what the hell? Hey, Christine. Time to go play with the dog who has more intelligence than this crap. All right, that's cool, bad duck. Come back in about 5-10 minutes. We'll be reading a little bit of the Sarah Boone. So yeah, it's okay, bad duck. It's okay, bad duck, if you run away. Cops are chasing people away. Dude's armed. We're gonna open fire on him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, here we go. What do you think? Bat tire inflators. Oh, what do we got? What's our poll doing?
No, they're likely going to order him out of the vehicle. The driver, though, it could turn into a barricade or a standoff situation here, as the driver has space in front of him now. He knows those spike strips are waiting. Look at this; it's covering the entire street there, or the entire road. So he really has nowhere to go. Here he comes. He's opening.
There he comes.
And he might be surrendering now at this point.
Yeah. There's a one. Either he's got a mohawk or a really odd shaped head. He's a very large guy. Pretty large guy. He's not tiny. Is that what's his face? Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh man. Do you know what he's wanted for? He's wanted for SA and possibly robbery.
Yeah, it looks like he is struggling to stand up. He's signaling to them, talking to the LAPD, saying that he's having some sort of difficulty getting out of the
Like I pooped myself.
Very large person coming out. So that's part of the problem here. They do have less lethal weapons.
He goes, I just was looking for a place to poop.
Slow moving. Maybe.
Where's my carnage?
Some way. Hard to tell, but he's really struggling to get out of that vehicle and unbalanced there. So hard to say what the condition is.
Oh man.
It's possible that maybe he's under the influence of something. That's also a possibility, but he's complying. That's the good news. Really realized there was nowhere to go.
He's like, I really can't.
He was not able to run.
I really can't. I really can't do anything. All right, we'll end the poll. End the poll. There we go. He gave up. He can't really walk. It says he gives up, or Pitt. He gives up. 1. Hit the like. 29%. You hit the like. 29% hit. Said Pitt. 41% give up. Yeah, I bet you he just had a heart attack. Oh, you know, all you got to do is he's going, man, if I get down, you guys ain't getting me up. Can you just put handcuffs on me? Just come on, man. I'll just put both my hands on this thing, but I just can't get down. If I get down, I ain't getting back up. My knees are bad. I'm fat. I'm old. Swear to God, I really can't get down. I really can't get down. You want me to get down? I really can't get down. Like really, seriously, I can't get down. I mean, I'm giving up. I just can't get down. Looks like he's got a roll of paper towels in there. It looks like, oh, dude, he pooped himself. He's drunk or drank a whole bottle of something during the pursuit. He tries much better than he walks. True. He was just looking for a Burger King. Dude, they're probably going to have to load him up in there, and I doubt he can.
Absolutely, we were just uncertain.
Yeah, that man. That's a very fat man.
Definitely going to search through it. They've already cleared it for any other people, but listening to what the LAPD is saying right now, it sounds like they're going to transport him into that vehicle with the door open, and no need for medical assistance at this point.
Wow. It's going to take 3 sets of handcuffs for this guy. Yeah, probably 1 for each wrist and 1 in the middle just to keep him from dislocating his shoulders. He's probably just going, listen, I can't run. Just put me in the damn car. Here, take the handcuffs off. Put me in the car. I'm complying. I'm complying, as they smack him into the door a couple of times. Oh, sorry. Diabetic shock, diabetic ulcers, wounds on his feet. Do that. Your patients, whenever your clinics, walk that way. Needs a wagon. He's not fitting in that. Oh, he'll fit in there. He'll fit in there. Like I said, they'll take his handcuffs off. No, they're going to leave him on. He's just like, listen, I'm not going anywhere. Just take these damn things off me. Yeah, it looks like they got 3 sets of handcuffs on him.
Thank you.
Oh, man. That's a big old boy right there, I tell you. 0.3 PAC. They're going to need a counterbalance on the front. He did pretty good keeping them from pitting him, though. I expected someone much younger. I like the bicycle cop out there. Wearing tactical gear. He's a bicycle cop. Here, let's give him another set. Here, we'll use 4 sets of handcuffs. See, get him an ambulance. I know. Get him an ambulance. Ambulance. That's about all there is for this guy right here. He's done. He is done with that. Oh man. So how are you guys doing this evening? We have got some good news for you and some crappy news, of course. I saw that was planned, and I mean, come on. Yeah, it's you got to get those kinds of moments whenever you've got the live police chases. You just have to have them. I'm telling you, he's not going to fit in that Explorer. You're probably right, Scott. He most likely is not going to fit into that Explorer at all. But so it goes. So it goes. Oh boy. So here we go with the fun stuff. This is where we get into the fun stuff. Because of course our friendly neighborhood incarcerated, what do you call them? What do you call it? The pro se indigent defendant. Sarah Boone. Oh God. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, we've got her. We've got her tonight. And I'll try to get through this as quick as possible because there's something else I wanted to show you guys. And it is very going to be really good. It'll be really good tonight. So in the Circuit Court, Ninth Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. Motion for defendant lawfully receive, review, utilize original hard copy discovery 2 boxes A, B submitted to the court by former attorneys on June 28, 2024 for preparation of trial in her criminal case. Comes now, Sarah Boone, pro se indigent defendant, respectfully request from the court lawfully receive, utilize the 2 original hard copy discoveries submitted to the court for her former attorney on June 28, 2024 for preparation of trial in her criminal case. Lawful support and valid reason for this request made by the defendant include discovery definition. You're an idiot. Exploration or examining, finding something out by search, observations, marked community tablet dictionary, the process through which attorneys, we understand what those are. Fix to propose the clerk with the clerk's website to the judge on the June 28th of 2024 at 9:31 a.m. The evidence control sheet states, the court will reach out to the jail. We know. These 2 boxes A and B are the defendant's original discovery. She is not seen in full to present date, and it is her right to receive by law to fairly proceed in her defense. Well, and of course, we're going to state some more rules right there and some more sanctions because, if she was going to put in some sanctions brought to the attention of the court, how the party has failed to comply with the applicable discovery rule or with an order issued pursuant an applicable discovery rule, the court may order the party to comply with the discovery. Which none of this means anything anymore because, good night, bad Englishman. You take care. Yes, another night case. Oh, this one's much better too. 2. Willfully violation by counsel or party not reprehended pursuant thereof, subject counsel or precedent party court to appreciate appropriate the sanctions by the court higher. The sanctions may include but not limited to contempt proceedings against attorney or unrepresented party. It don't matter. The signatures of the party constitute certification. Not reasonable, unduly burdensome, or expensive given the needs of the case and the importance of the issues of the litigation. The government, they be obligated under the Brady in United States versus, and she's going to quote some crap that doesn't mean anything because she's already got that information. So this is the stuff that she was filing up into her hearing. Placement places heavy reliance on the cases that hold information as material if there's reasonable probability. So all her bitching and moaning about this really did nothing for her. And more than likely, she read through a bunch of case law, and that's really all she looked at was a bunch of case law. Now, here's where we get down to it. This is the fun part right here. Due to the court's inter or non-communication with a defendant, foremost, to avoid present circumstances in the jail prior to implementation of an order on June 28, 2024, and after the defendant's July 8, 2024 letter questioning location of her promised hard copy discovery. She was never promised hard copy discovery. She has not realized this yet, but she was not promised hard copy discovery. They said they will work this out with the court, and they worked it out with the jail. The jail said, we don't have a place to put hard copies. 2 banker boxes, we can't do it. In doing so, they said this is what will work out. So as a direct result of her extended waiting period for delivery by the court to expeditiously review, research, organize all contents, and attempt to prepare all pretrial motions as ordered by July 22nd, 2024, the defendant is now forced into this abrupt manner to only receive and be restricted by the court's USB copies of her discovery. Well, isn't that special, sweetheart? Sometimes that's just the way it goes. It is an obstruction of justice to withhold the defendant's original hard copy discovery that has been copied for an ongoing 5 years to properly, fairly, physically construct a rightful defense at all available times necessary to her and the sole independent decision of the court as the defendant. I did not exhaust or suggest that this USB only option was not including any decision-making, collaboration, or equal agreement for USB only format to be received. Was not advised by the court prior to implementation of the receiving the USB copies. Defendant was excluded and avoided in this incredibly restrictive decision. Well, do you realize that's the way it goes whenever you get incarcerated, or sweetheart? You know, if you wouldn't have been thrown in jail, posted bond, well, I guess you couldn't post bond either now, could you? Because, well, you're in there for murders, see? So the time of consideration inclusion should have been made on the court's behalf to prequely avoid the present disadvantages of the circumstances, and the defendant would not be deprived of a due process and equally opportunities to correctly, fairly represent herself and succeed futuristically. Because that's how we do this, futuristically. Wherefore, Sarah Boone, pro se indigent defendant, respectively request to this honorable court, in conclusion, to lawfully receive, review, and utilize the original hard copy discovery, 2 boxes, A and B, submitted to the court by former attorneys on June 28, 2024, preparation of the trial of her criminal case. By receiving them their original hard copy discovered 2 boxes A and B, in addition to USB digital copies, the defendant is capable of viewing and all discovered information available in continuous preparation of her trial enhancing her ability to thrive lawfully in her forced by court position of pro se and representation of self. Sweetheart, they told you multiple times, dummy. Yeah, F around and you will find out. You F around, you found out. No, home chicken. You shut down chicken leg. You sit down, shut up, and do the work you need to do so you'll make complete what needs to be done. And of course, she's got a little oath right there and a certificate of service. Well, she couldn't stop there. No. She had to go in a little bit harder. She's got more motions. They didn't stop there. Oh no. Sarah Boone, stop. No, you're asking the impossibles. Here it is. Motion for defendant's reasonable freedom in movement by allowing her to be unshackled, unhandcuffed, to function equally and comfortably while utilizing the courtroom. In other words, you shall not handcuff me while I'm in the courtroom. I do not want to be a slave to your, I will not be 9 days slave, bitches. Comes now Sarah Boone, pro se indigent defendant. Respectfully request from the court to be unshackled, handcuffed, and allowed to reasonable freedom in movement to functionality accordingly, equally, and comfortably while utilizing the courtrooms. Defendant, they must be able to be reaching, turning pages, picking up objects, opening up documents, passing information, passing gas, utilizing laptop, all normal movements, scratching their ass, whatever they want to be doing. If I want to be fiddling with my boobies, I need to be allowed to be fiddling with my boobies. Defendant must be able to do all this and accomplish any task needed for prior to entrance of that there courtroom. Defendant is thoroughly inspected and searched and is under direct surveillance of the judge. All them there judicial assistants, news cameras, and operators, photographers, general public witnesses of the court, as well as a vigilant armed deputies also in attendance. It's greatly diminishing all possibility, risk of flight or harm by the defendant while unshackled and handcuffed. Besides, my fat ass can't run. Defendant is simply requesting equal, comfortable, functional movement so I can puff up my chest like everybody else. I want to be dressed in my nines. I want to be looking sharp. I need tailor-fit suit so I can say the big words. Court's overall perspective and understanding this performance obstacle for the defendant is also requested respectfully, seeing her good faith determined efforts to thrive and achieve in her criminal case rightfully, properly, and fairly. Wherefore, Sarah Boone, pro se indigent defendant, respectfully requests to this honorable court in conclusion to be unshackled, unhandcuffed, and allowed reasonable freedom in the movement of function with equality accordingly and comfortably in that their courtroom. Well, you think she's done there? Well, shit, no. This girl, she got more. She got so much more that she wants to be talking about. She couldn't let it go there. No. She's got more. She thinks she's special kind of retarded now. I will tell you. She is. Just be careful. Those them now sprained ankles ain't no fun, but broken words hurt it worse. Damn, that is so true. Oh yeah, here we go. We get to number 3. Motion for defendant's immediate address and correction. What comes now, Sarah Boone, pro se indigent defendant, respectfully requests from the court to change, update, correct the defendant's delivery mailing address immediately. Well, they already did this, so we don't even have to read through this because it doesn't matter. The judge said, yeah, we've got you, sweet cheeks. You don't have to worry about it. There's a reason why the judge had said, yeah, you're fine. We're not worried about that. Don't you worry about it. We got you. Let me see if I can pull up this last one right here, and it'll take me just a little bit of time. I dropped down the wrong document. Yeah, let's get that there and that there and up there and searching. Let's see this one right here. Judge Michael S. Cranack. Yeah, he was feeling pretty spicy. Is this the right one? That was the address correction. I think I skipped over one. Yeah, I did skip over one. That was not the one I was looking for. That one. I think this might be the one. Oh no, that's all it was. Seriously, that's all it was. Is she was unclear. Had the court had her correct prior address, forfeiting her right to counsel, 6th constitutional amendment in my petition, and bitch, moan. My address is follow exactly. Yeah, she had some complaints. Just be careful. Them spraying over funds are out of doing fine. How about you? Well, see, this is where we start getting a little bit interesting, because we got some more of that there what the hell stuff that came in. Oh my lordy almighty. Yeah, what the hell's Jeremy? Jeremy is pretty damn excited. Pretty damn excited that he was able to get his stuff set up. He's got his most wonderful, most adorable show. Started thinking about something else. My brain is going like in 10 different directions. So he had this come up. Now I showed this the other morning, and I wanted to show it again because I think it is pretty damn impressive that he was able to celebrate with this. And you can there's at times you can hear the relief in his voice. And it took me aback the first time. That I heard it, but I wanted to listen to it again because it was early in the morning, and this one right here really touched hard. I just want you to
the Hales news. It is 100% official. As I'm sitting here at the store units in one of the most epic units I've ever bought in my life, epic news continues to flow in today. Number one, Levy County Sheriff, we're back at Turd Purgatory today. Multiple things have been actually addressed and noted, and other things. There's more to come on that. Much more to come on that. But quite potentially, the biggest thing happening today is Judge Craig Constantine DeThomasis, with all of his biases, who has cost me well over $100,000 in legal.
Imagine that. I mean, think about this. Think about it. And people don't really take this into consideration. This is just over a restraining order. Well over $100,000 worth of legal fees over a restraining order in one state. In one state, $100,000, well over $100,000. What do you think? What do you think it is costing the state to take care of Sarah Boone? Not only are they feeding her, they're housing her, they're clothing her, but they're also prosecuting her, and they're also supplying her the means to a defense. 180,000 was the latest. Can you imagine how much money and that's just in legal fees. That doesn't include anything else. That's just legal fees. Those of you that think it's fun or funny to sue somebody, I'm not saying that my chat would do something like that. I'm talking about those that are outside the chat that are just listening. Yeah, anytime there's Jeremy brought to emotion with it, it's genuine. Yeah, that's what I thought too. That thinking suing somebody or going on the attack for somebody in the court system is easy and cheap. It is not. It is expensive. It is expensive to do this. It's expensive for everybody. Both sides are spending so much money. And they will always tell you the only people that are really winning in any sort of lawsuit are the lawyers. They're the ones making the money off of it. Because you're having to pay them for every single thing. Every single thing. If you've got a question, you call them up and they answer the phone. You've got to pay them for that. Damn bug. Weird bug. You've got to pay him for every damn thing. That is money he won't get back that he would have used for Christmas in the Creek and other events for the community. Yeah. Because Jeremy tends to give back to his community. And that's money that he won't be able to give back to his community. And that's the heartbreaking part of all this is that, he does so much outside of that. That right there is $100,000 that could have, if Lynette would have not been such a, what was it? What was the word that I heard? A twatopotamus? Yeah, something like that. If she would not been such a cruel, horrible person, he probably could have helped her out quite a bit. If she wasn't such a mean, horrible person, that's $100,000 that could have gone to. He might have looked over there and said, "Hey, how about I come over here with my tractor? I help you build up some berms. We get this stuff. We make it look really good for you. Hell, I've got guys. They'll put together a sign. We could totally help you out." But no, she had to go all bullshit, batshit crazy on him. You don't understand the level of caring and giving that people can do for each other. But whenever you come off and want to be an ass to people, how much it harms everybody, even yourself. But there's people that will watch the world burn just to see other people suffer. They will go whole hog on it just to watch other people suffer, even if it means that they go broke doing it. That's why I don't agree that Jeremy should go after Judge DeThomas's. I don't think he should. She showed crazy just before she moved across the street. Yeah. This is also why I don't think Jeremy should go after Judge DeThomas. He shouldn't do anything. Move on. Count it as a win and move on. Hopefully he doesn't, because all it does is it costs you more money, costs this guy more money. The only people that are judges, and I don't think you're going to get the outcome that you want. I really don't. Christmas in the Creek is going to be glorious this year. Why do I think Christmas in the Creek is going to be glorious this year? I think because there's going to be so many people that have been seeing what's going on that they are going to want to give back to the community. They are going to want to make it special. I think that is going to be probably one of the best. I think it can probably be one of the best. I think that, this is the problem whenever you start getting any sort of recognition on YouTube. There are people that will aim for you. They will look at you just to bring you down. That you will become a target because they think that your success is built on their back. It is not. He's done something that has brought so many people up. He's done so much work that brought people up. And I look at this the same way that I've seen other YouTube creators that have done really successful. They've done wonderful things. They've brought people into the community. They've explained things to them, but they bring something to the table. And whenever you see somebody that's doing that, why would I, as me personally, why would I go and attack them? Why would I, for example, why would I go attack Jeremy because he's been successful? Now, I mean, it would be a different story if he was doing something vile and horrible. Then I might have something to say about it. We've seen YouTube creators that do that also. They do vile, horrible things. We've also seen Jeremy lose his cool on people. That happens. That's to be expected. If you're thinking that that these YouTube creators aren't human or capable of human emotions, well, then you're misconstruing what they are. Sure, every single one of us are going to have faults and flaws, and you can expose those, and they end up becoming like this open wound. But is that really necessary? Are they physically going out and injuring you? If they are, then go at them both barrels. I have got no problem with that. But whenever you do it just for the lols, or because you're looking to boost your channel up by bringing somebody else down, it's not cool. Fans all over the world sent him gifts last year, and they will send him even more this year. That's right, Debbie. And that's what we hope for. That's what we hope for. We hope for Christmas in the Creek to be successful. I have watched my channel grow from a measly 3 subs to where it is now with 2,000 something. I don't know. I've watched it grow. And it's not all about, just becoming famous. There is work that goes into doing this. There's time spent away from other things that I could be doing. And even with Jeremy doing this, the time that it took him to record this video, he could have been doing something completely different. He could have just been loading up a truck. Instead, he took the time out to record a short video, upload it. I think he did this one live. I actually think he did this one live because it breaks up. You want people to be successful in their endeavors. I mean, I want everybody else that's coming up behind me to surpass me in subs, surpass me in followers. I want them to be really successful in YouTube. I do this because I enjoy doing this. I like making a little bit of extra scratch because I can buy some equipment that's pretty cool. But this stuff where you're doing it just to bring people down or boost, you bring people down to boost yourself up. It's horrible. Yeah, it was live. Yeah. Of course, I'm sorry. I was on my soapbox again because I mean I just do that quite a bit. I mean I'm a little passionate about this. I mean, a lot of people don't know this. I used to play in a local band. That's why you see all the instruments. Just a local band, nothing big. And I've opened for some major acts. I've met like a lot of musicians throughout my entire musical career, people that are really famous and some of them that are really dead because, well, they got old. And at all points in time, whenever you would see musicians, you knew the musicians that you could hang out with. The ones that were looking to help everybody else out. Whenever they get successful, they want to bring everybody else in and have them be successful also. And then you have the musicians that would bring people in. And the only reason they would bring them in is they needed the platform. They needed the stepping stool to get to a higher spot. It was the musicians that brought other people in because they wanted to have that much fun. It's like this stuff is no fun by yourself. Talking to 27 people is no different than talking to 200 million people. It is no different. I have played in front of audiences of 10. I've played in front of audiences of 10,000. I've played in front of audiences of close to 200,000. There's no difference in the way that I perform. Whenever I would play my music, I performed it the same way. And that's how you have to be in this kind of realm. It's no different than playing music in front of crowds. Why do you become a musician? Well, because you can get all kinds of drugs and all kinds of women and all kinds of, stuff like that, fame, all that stuff. No, those are byproducts. It's like you just enjoy this so much. You enjoy playing music so much. You enjoy doing the YouTube so much. You enjoy the interaction with people that all that stuff goes away. Why do you think my streams can go from just I can talk about anything if I want to. Sometimes it probably get me in trouble. Why do you think I can turn around? I can read Sarah Boone and watch a Jeremy Hales video and watch a live police chase because I'm not this your typical YouTuber that has some shtick. They have their particular thing. I can talk about politics in the morning. I can watch politics at night. I can do a stream about Sarah Boone. I could do something about I could do a stream about gay pride if I wanted to. What does it freaking matter? I don't have this idea that you have to be one particular thing to cater to one particular idea, to have this one particular ideology to do anything. I'm sorry if I'm ranting a little bit. It bothers me whenever I see a lot of these people that are just like, oh, well, why aren't you doing X, Y, or Z? Like I had some guy this morning who's like, oh, this is low energy. I was like, really? That's your complaint? Low energy? Dude, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I guarantee you 90% of the people that'll end up watching me are watching me like 2 hours later. I was like, sure, they're not hardly watching any of the lives. That happens. I don't worry about it. I do what I do and I move on. After I finish a stream in the morning, because I would be reading the news in the first place. I would turn around and I would shut down my computer or whatnot. Sometimes I would just leave it on, but I would just go to work. That's what I do in my mornings after I'm done with the stream. Whenever I say, see you guys, I'm out of here. That's all I do is I shut down. I check my email to see if I have anything in for work. After I'm done with that, shoot. Then I go and I have mail runs that I have to make. I have office work that needs to be done. I have multiple people calling me all day long. So I could be on the phone for 5 or 6 hours a day just talking with people. And then whenever I'm done with that, I spend time with my wife, cook dinner, whatever, have lunch, cook dinner, go spend some time with her. Like I went for a walk with my wife this evening. That's why I set it up for 8 o'clock, because I wanted to go spend some time with her so we could talk about some of our plans that we have for our house. And after that, then I come on here and I do a stream. And you want me to get on here and be, excited or yelling at people? Nah, to hell with that. I just want to have a good time. This is like free time that I have. I spend my free time on here with you guys because it's fun, because you guys entertain me. I entertain me. This is stuff that I would be watching anyway, but I get to watch it with you. It's like a live viewing. I don't know. All right, let's continue on. This is good stuff.
Legal fees. has 100% officially been removed from the case forever.
That's right.
The appellate courts have found in my favor that he was 100% biased, that he was 100% illegally doing things in that courtroom. He's gone, baby. Gone.
That's right. Gone.
Hashtag baby. Praise the Lord that something is happening, and other things are happening in Otter Creek this week as well. This is step one of huge news today. Again, I already alluded, there are many people who are jumping in on this live stream right now. The live stream will stay up for good forever as well. That there are other things happening in Otter Creek. Levy County Sheriff was just entered purgatory. Other developments are happening there. Many phone calls, many videos, many things to report. There are some huge things happening in Otter Creek, particularly at Purgatory with the turds. And the biggest thing right now is Craig DeThomasis has officially been declared biased. He has.
Yeah, he was. He was absolutely declared biased, because that right there was just a slapdown. And poor Jeremy, yeah, he's got more problems in the horizon with Guapo. Yeah, see, I think I saw a little bit of that, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Is it something? Is it something that can be done about that? I don't know, because to me it just seems like someone's wanting to ride the high that Jeremy has and stir up some stuff, because it's good. They know it's going to get people watching. That's the way it appears to me. Like they create these interactions because they know that Jeremy's going to be there and they're going to get people watching. And I don't know if Jeremy wants to. Yeah, it seems very petty. Now, I would say if I was in Jeremy's position, for me personally, I would probably just be like, and just ignore them like they didn't exist. Not give them a platform. So whenever they come up and they start, oh, Jeremy, blah, 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 not even respond to them. Just look at them with probably just like disinterest. Like, okay, I don't know who you are. And that drives them absolutely nuts. Especially whenever somebody is petty. Yeah, it's very petty, Debbie. If someone is that petty, the worst thing they hate is being ignored. Oh, that just drives them crazy whenever they're ignored. But as soon as you feed into it, you get up in their face, all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, they knew the buttons to push. And they get a thrill out of it. And they will continually push that same button because they see it. Like I said, if I was Jeremy, I would just let them go. Let them go. Whenever they say something that's wrong or defamatory, then bring out the big guns. But other than that, I wouldn't even confront them. Wouldn't even talk to them. Would not even deal with them. Jeremy gets a little hot-headed. That can cause problems.
Officially been declared illegal activity. He has officially been declared. This man should not be a judge on any case for anyone, especially my case. And look at this. Look at this. Now we're finding fraud. Fully rely on God. Some relief.
Yeah, I think this is about whenever it hit him. That this right here sort of touched me. Whenever I saw this, I was just like, ooh, you feel that little bit. I think that realization of the pressure lifting off of him seemed very palatable. Was just like, oh shit. Like this bullshit, this part of the bullshit is over. There's still more fight to go. But this part of the bullshit is over. Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know Guapo. I have no reference of him. I really don't. I have no reference because that's not my world. Oh, you wanted to cry for him? I understand. Debbie. I think it should be hard for Jeremy about Guano because Jeremy had actually mentored him and knows him. Yeah, see, Sir Frank Otter has no idea who Guapo is. Well, I mean, I guess that is a little bit harder if they did mentor him. Also, that means that this guy knows how to get to him. And I will tell you, I've never asked Jeremy for anything at all, ever. That's not me. Like, there will be people, you'll see them just like, oh, Jeremy, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? I was like, no, I mean, I reached out to Jeremy early on and said, hey, I'd like to have you and George on just to talk about life. That's it. And Jeremy never responded, which is fine. That's his prerogative. He's a busy man. I don't worry about it. I don't see, but I also don't think that he owes me anything. You know, just like, I don't know, infantile and mean-spirited. See, I don't know. I mean, you're talking about someone I have no idea anything about them because to me, that is drama. And I just have no reference. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I've stayed out of, the drama that I've stayed out of. Whenever I've got people on one side telling me, oh, Jeremy is blah, 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 blah. I don't ever have Jeremy coming back. Well, so-and-so is blah, 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 blah. I don't hear anything from Jeremy. Maybe he says something. I don't know. I just don't catch it. But usually whenever I'm seeing the kind of attacks, it's usually like, so-and-so is blah, 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 blah. It just means they're trying to interject themselves into a story and they want to make the story about themselves. It's a troll move. And it gets them clicks. It gets them likes. It gets them thumbs ups. It gets them followers. But at what cost? At what cost? It's no different than if I go out here and I go wholehearted hog at, Joe Blow and start, saying, well, this guy right here did X, Y, or Z and blah, 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 blah. You guys would find it interesting for a short period of time. Like, you'd be like, ooh, look, Shizzy's going after somebody. He's attacking them. And then as soon as it was over, where would you go? Like, you would see all these new people come in and they would be wanting me to continue on with whatever attack I was doing against somebody. It's like watching a boxing match. You're rooting for your guy. I mean, I'm rooting for Jeremy, but I'm just happy that Thomas's is off of his case. That's why I came here in the first place. This is what drew me to watching What the Hales. I don't really watch the storage collection stuff. I think it's pretty cool. The coin pusher stuff is really interesting, especially watching it whenever you're watching it with the expert. He makes it very entertaining on top of that. Plus, George and Jeremy are entertainment. But doing, this constant attack of other people, watch them get destroyed. I don't get that. That doesn't resonate with me. I got myself into that early on in my YouTube career and probably said a bunch of stuff that'll probably come back and bite me at some point in time, I'm sure. But luckily, I had other YouTube creators around me that were just like, don't do that. And said, stop. And knew that I wasn't going to take offense if they were trying to run me or run my life or run my streams. They just said, we're not going to tell you what to do, but if you do that stream like you're planning on doing that stream, you're going to cause problems. you're going to have a bunch of backlash. And I still respect those streamers to this day because they kept me from doing some really stupid things that people that I was involved in were doing early on. So that's the same thing as working in the security sector. It's a cutthroat business, and I can tell you they will try to dogpile you as fast as they find out it gets under your skin. Well, it's the same way as being a mechanic. I guess that's why this stuff doesn't bother me. As a mechanic, we would, oh God, the amount of crap that we would do to other mechanics is insane. Just to push their buttons, and you would fight. Tell you a good one. Here's the kind of shit that we used to pull on each other. So this was a guy that was one of my shop foremen at the place I worked at. Whenever he came to work there, he was young. He was in his 20s, 30s, 20s, fresh out of the military. He worked for Navy, Air Force. He worked on aircrafts as a low life grunt. Got a job working in this place. And he comes in and he starts working, young kid. And one of the guys walks over to him and standing right next to him, turns around, looks at another man across the bay, and it just happened to be of a certain pigmentation. And he says, "Hey, did you hear this guy? He called you," and says the N-word out loud. Now, this guy never did it whatsoever. He's standing there, and he's looking at him, and this guy comes walking over, and he says, "You said what?" He says, looks at this other guy, and he was like, "Okay, what of it?" Guy's like, "Nothing. Can you do your job?" Like, "Yeah." And he went to work. And it was a test to see if he was gonna cow down and buckle up and cry. And he never said the word, and he knew he never said the word. And that guy knew he never said the word. And the guy coming up to him knows that he never said it either. It was all a test to see if he was going to turn into a little wimp around them. And he didn't. He said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you going to do about it?" Guy says, "All right." And then they went back to work, and they ended up becoming really good friends all the way until the guy was old, in his old age. Because that's what guys do. Guys mess with each other constantly. They're constantly poking. They're constantly prodding. They're finding the weak spots. And the reason why we find those weak spots is so we can build other men up to know that it is, that weak spot right there shouldn't be a weak spot. That point right there that somebody is poking at you. I mean, here's a perfect example. Look at Donald Trump whenever he was talking with, I think it was Merkel, whatever, the prime minister of France or whatever from France. He comes in and he dominates him. He starts taunting him. He starts giving him a hard time. And dude from France gives him a hard time right back. And they both had a laugh. And they didn't take any offense to it. At least that's the way it appeared. It all looked like it was a good jest. But this is how men treat each other. Whereas women, they get vicious as ever living Christ. Yes, men need their socket sets. Trust me, I've got about 60 different socket sets. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, we need our sockets. I'll show you my toolbox sometime. Yeah, I've got a double bay toolbox, and yeah, it's loaded up with sockets, wrenches, tools that you'll only probably ever use once. But no, it's very. You still haven't found all of your 10mm sockets. Well, that is a problem. That is a problem. I've got a bunch of them floating around in various cars. I guarantee you. Need not like 4 cents and not a single 10mm in sight. Yeah. No, what I do is I'm very specific about my 10 millimeters. Oh yeah. I have all my 10 millimeters all the way up through 27, I think 27 millimeter wrenches. Yeah. I've got a lot of wrenches. I've got tools to work on BMWs, Mercedes. I've got tools for Honda specifically. I've got tools for Ford specific. I've got tools for Dodge specific. Like these are like tools that you probably will only ever use once. I've got a socket that will remove the wheel hub for a 4x4. I've got a socket that I can use on the main crank pulley for a lot of people call it harmonic balance or whatever. For the main crank, I have a socket that will remove that off of the front end of a car. Yeah, I've got tools. I've got tools that will set the timing on a BMW 528i. I've got tools. You can tell me the mechanics on a bunch. All you have to do is mention 10 millimeter. No, only if they're working on European and Asian cars. Because if you're working on any American cars, it's usually not gonna be metric. If it's metric, well then it wasn't made in America. Because for whatever reason, there's a big difference between a 1/4-inch wrench and an 8 millimeter. Just saying, there's a big difference. If you're a Ford man, you know what I'm talking about. You can tell the mechanics a bunch. Yeah, it's crazy. No, this is the part where Jeremy really breaks down. And I say that wholeheartedly because this was something that really touched me. You could feel the relief come off of him. That just sort of emptying of the gas, just like
some relief. Now, what I anticipate, most people are going to be asking, what I anticipate to actually happen.
Yeah, right there. Right there, you could feel that the breath was just like, but that right there, that was uncontrollable. Where you could feel his heart break. I've been there.
It's been stressful.
Right there.
This has been expensive. This is money I will never, ever see back that I had plans to bless people with. Having to fight a corrupt system. A judge who's supposed to fight for you. Levy County Sheriff who are supposed to actually protect and to serve. Money I'll never get back, which I had plans to bless people and Levy County with and others. But finally, Judge Craig DeThomas's is gone. Now, I know the very first thing you guys are going to ask, can you have your Second Amendment rights back? Unfortunately, this has to go to a new judge, which should be appointed very, very soon. And with that being said, the very first thing that I think will happen is this entire case will be thrown out of the courts in Florida.
One can only hope. Now, there's not there is that possibility that they could be thrown out, but because this is going to be heard in front of another judge, he's basically going to hear all of the evidence again, and may throw it out. He may keep it in. Don't know. Debbie, I do that in C and quilt. You guys are bad.
Because number one, it's frivolous. Number two, laws have been broken on all sides of Lynette's side. You can't plead the fifth and say, I want to go to court against that person.
Very true.
Immediately, the new judge should throw this out and it should be gone. Gone. Then
Well, not necessarily, Jeremy. Just saying. You gotta, I know you want it to be gone. It would be such a relief for it to be gone. And here's the thing. After all this is over, and all this goes away, and all the fanfare and the drama and all that bullshit is gone. How many of you are still going to be watching Jeremy whenever all the drama is over? I know there'll be more coming along, because that's what happens in this space. But how many of you are going to be watching Jeremy, to get the updates on what's going on in Otter Creek? Do you think he's going to keep it going for you guys? You think he'll keep posting what's going on in Otter Creek? I think he will. I think he'll post what's going on in Otter Creek, and I'm hoping that the drama is over after this for Otter Creek. I hope that this stuff gets settled. I hope that he doesn't have these kind of issues anymore. That is the hope. That is my prayer for Jeremy, that he doesn't have any more of this drama happening. That it goes away. That it becomes a happy, vibrant, peaceful place. Yeah. Elka watched long before the drama. And that's what I hope for Jeremy, is that once this goes away, once this drama goes away, that people go back to watching what they enjoyed most about this, that they go back watching the coin pushers, that they go back and watch the storage streams, that people like me, we fade off into the distance and we continue doing what we're doing. Yeah, exactly. Debbie's been watching since 2015. I want Jeremy to hit that pinnacle of streamers. What is it? 1 million? 1 million subs? Oh my God. You know how glorious that would be? That would just be like awesome. And I think that, he's probably lost quite a bit of subs because of this shit. Like, people that probably would have been interested in him were just like, yeah, this drama I don't care about. I mean, he gained new subs in the process of it. But there's a lot of people that have probably been watching this for so long that they're just like, yeah, I don't care about what's happening in Otter Creek unless it was good, because I enjoyed the good stuff that was happening. I enjoyed watching him do, Christmas in the Creek. I watched all that other stuff and all the drama coming out. That wasn't fun. Also watched long before the drama, but would love to get updates on the hopeful progress of Otter Creek. Exactly. That's what I would like to see. I mean, I went back and I did a lot of these with Mo, where we went back and we watched a lot of the early streams from Jeremy, where he was first moving into Otter Creek, and what got him to this point. The stress levels that man has gone through, just unbelievable. I mean, I find it so amazing that he was able to keep some composure in a lot of this. It's just crazy. Just crazy. Oh, wow. That's funny. I might have to check that out later. But we got about another 5 minutes of this. Oh, Patrick W., thank you, brother. I appreciate that. From what I can gather, what evidence is there out of 4 hearings? Not one piece of evidence was cross-examined. Not one witness was completely examined and cross-examined. What evidence is there? On which one? Are we talking about Jeremy? With Jeremy, what evidence was there of that? Here's the problem. They haven't shown it in court. They have not had their day in court. That's the problem that Jeremy's had. The judge put up a temporary restraining order without hearing everything in court. He put that up to protect Lynette. But the case is not over. So if you're asking what evidence has been gathered in court or shown in court, none. No evidence, no depositions, none of these things have been shown in court. They were shown in Ohio. Big difference. The things that were shown in Ohio are completely different. I'm trying to answer your question the best I can. But the evidence there in Otter Creek or Levy County, there is none. Everything's been hushed. So this is where we run into the problem, because then they're going to that's why having Jeremy, having this judge that's very biased against him removed from handling this case becomes so important. This becomes the most important part for him and also for Lynette, because this means that they can move the case forward. Once you're able to move that case forward, you come with a conclusion. They could have had a conclusion with Thomas's, but because of his clear bias, because of him not hearing any of the evidence, him shutting down the cases, him causing problems, Lynette causing problems, Jeremy filing things and trying to get an answer to him, it's become really difficult. You started watching him about 6 months ago or a little bit longer, before they went to Egypt with their backpacks filled with school supplies. The Hales are good people. Absolutely, Debbie. I'm not, and I'll say this multiple times. Good people can still do bad things, and bad people can do really good things. I don't think that the Hales are any different than anybody else in the world. I don't think they're unique or special or anything more or less than anybody else. I think that they are unique in their own way, and that they have done so much to help other people out. It's hard not to enjoy and support or show support for them because of the amount of support they show for other people. And yes, them going to Egypt was probably one of the most amazing things. The amount of things that they've done for other people are absolutely admirable. Does that mean that they don't do bad things or say bad things or misstate things or lie or do crooked things? No, it doesn't. It doesn't absolve them from that. But you have to be able to point those things out. And I think that they've done much more good for people than they have any sort of harm. It's sort of like whenever your wife asks you, she says, "Does this dress make me look fat?" It's a trick question, guys. It's a trick question. Just know it's a trick question. You're supposed to say, "Babe, I love you, and you look gorgeous no matter what you're wearing." Because if you truly believe that, then it comes across as honest. They were a god sent to Egypt. Exactly. It's a trick question. Yes, Heidi, it's a trick question. If the man loves you, it does not matter what you wear. You look gorgeous. Because that is a trick question. Don't try to fool me. I know how it goes. My wife knows not to ask those kinds of questions because she'll get the honest answer, and she don't want that heartbreak, so she doesn't ask those questions. And it's the same. I don't ask her either because I'll say, "Yeah, I know. I'm getting a little rotund." That's why I've cut back on quite a few things and increased in other activities. I love my wife dearly. I do absolutely love my wife. And there's, if she asks me those kinds of questions, she tried one on me earlier today. And I was like, "That's not what I said." She was like, "That's what you said." I was like, "No, repeat back what I said." She repeated it back and she was like, like, because she's a lawyer. So yeah, I have to deal with a lawyer on a daily basis that will ask loaded questions. I've gotten careful in my answers, damn it. Get very careful in my answers.
I can get all of my rights back. My right to actually drive on my road, which is a public road. I don't own it, but I own all the frontage, majority of the frontage in Otter Creek. Oh, man. This is huge relief. Praise God. Praise the Lord. Something is happening. Praise the Lord. Judge Craig DeThomasis is gone. This was ridiculous from the very beginning. Very beginning. I know people are saying, too bad you can't sue the judge and get all that money back. And Lord knows I wish I could. But here's the other thing. The Lord blesses me and blesses me and blesses me. And I don't know why. I honestly don't. I think if there's any reason why is because I actually do try to remain faithful. And I fail. I fail all the time. By the way, there's those that say, Jeremy, well, you fail with your anger. And listen, I get angry when people are doing inappropriate things to other people. That angers me. The judge angers me. Lynette angers me. Crook angers me. So Judge Craig DeThomasis is gone. Thank God. Praise God. This is step one. This is a huge step in the right direction.
It was a big step.
What I believe will happen is there will be a court case set again with a new judge. The chief judge will have to actually set that date. I will fly back to Otter Creek, which I was going to anyway. And there's nothing keeping me away from Otter Creek. There are those out there that say, Jeremy can't go to Otter Creek. He'll get arrested. No, I will not get arrested. I have not broken any laws whatsoever. As a matter of fact, as the judge who was found guilty of breaking the law and now removed, thank you so much, Deborah, the judge who was found guilty of his bias, the judge who was inappropriate within this entire hearing, even when he put illegal restrictions on me that took away my rights and my freedoms, I respected them and actually moved forward. Even though I didn't respect him, I kept what he put down in writing. Now, that will stay until the new hearing with the new judge, and I truly believe that judge will be removed immediately.
Thank you, Debbie. That's so right.
Remove the injunction hearing immediately. Then we'll go to court for federal court for defamation, extortion, all kinds of torts. Thank you, Gina. And through all of this crazy stress, through all of this insanity, through all these people who want to continue to follow the same pattern, say horrific things, do horrific things about people who've never done anything wrong. You see, this is the problem. You meet somebody and he's a teddy bear. Then you try.
See, here's, and you know, I see this, what he's talking about, what a lot of people are looking at, and they're just going, what does he really mean? Oh, he must be talking about Lynette. No. What Jeremy's talking about right here is about the people that come in, they get close, and then they do a little stabby in the back. That's what Jeremy's talking about right here. Because he's seen it. It's almost like he knows that it's coming. He's waiting for that other shoe to drop. And that right there is what he's talking about right here. Like, and you can go back and watch this and know whenever he says this, it's because there are other content creators out there that they think to get a name for themselves, they have to attack him. And that right there is sad. You shouldn't have to attack somebody. Yep, because he's dealing with that shit right now. Exactly. This is on top of his mind. This is on top of his mind. This is what he's looking at. He's going, you know, it's whenever you spread your wings and you say, hey, you know, come in, hang out, and let's talk. We're going to have a good time. how do you think Jeremy would react if he found out, for example, that the only concern that Megan had was to bring his company down? Megan Fox isn't that way, but it would be like a knife through the heart, because he's opened himself up to her. He's talked with her. He's communicated with her. He's shared things with her. He's given a lot of himself to her. He hasn't given all of himself, but he's given a lot to her. To find that she did something like that would be a stab through the heart. And these are the kind of things that Jeremy's dealing with on a daily basis now. Because he is YouTube famous, whatever the hell that is supposed to be. He's got several 100,000 followers that follow him. And that can be a downside also, because you imagine if I came out on the attack of Jeremy, how fast this channel right now, if I did that, how fast this channel would grow. If I came out and I started attacking Jeremy, I would end up gaining followers, because people would want to come in here and they would want to yell at me for attacking Jeremy. But why would I want to do that? Just to gain followers? And I don't necessarily sit there and support Jeremy. I support his message. I mean, if you ask me if she has free lawyers and she has no cost, exactly. But what does that serve? For what end does that matter? What, because it would knock Jeremy down a few rungs and help me out? Nah, fuck that. It's like I've got no need for that kind of crap. But if she is hit with Jeremy's court costs, how can she pay that? He's already written it off as a loss. That right there, Patrick W, is the answer. How can she repay that? She can't. But you still hit her with those court costs, and you do that as a deterrent. And I will tell you, as someone that works for an attorney, my wife, you do this as a deterrent, because it gives pause to other people that want to do the same kind of shit. That is why you make sure, yeah, they're going to pay court costs, because the next person that can pay court costs might be a little bit more hesitant about it if they know that it's going to cost them in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to go after you, to pull the same shit, to defame you. That's why you go after them with court costs. And you may never ever be able to collect on it, but it is a big deterrent to keep them from doing more shenanigans. It also gives you more of a court case further on down the line if, for example, they pull some more shenanigans and go after them again. It's easier for Jeremy to say, listen, I've got an injunction against them. Can you please remove them from my existence? I don't want to have anything to do with them. Yeah. Yeah, she has no money, really doesn't want anything. It's principal of the thing she's done, nothing but lied about all of this stuff. Now, there's, and in her defense, I'm sure there's been some truth to some of it. I'm sure that Jeremy has not been the nicest to her, but I think that she's pushed the buttons to get him to that point. And that's what I was talking about earlier whenever I said, hey, whenever these people are attacking you, you have to realize that that's the reaction they want to get out of you. And there's a perfect example of that multiple times that Jeremy has shown where he's gone after people and yelled back at them. And if he would have restrained himself, it would have made it look, but Jeremy's human. He's not, like I've said, he's not freaking perfect. He's human, and he looks at it, and he's, it angers him, and it's a righteous anger. He has an absolute reason to be angry. He has a reason to have that anger. If somebody is attacking him and saying things that are not true, he has every right to feel that way. But also the way that he handles it, man, just it's like that little tweak. And that's just me personally. That little tweak, you tweak it, man, you could turn that shit right upside down, and man, the amount of damage you could do with silence. If nobody knows this, if you've never been in a really fucked up relationship, silence can be fucking deadly. I mean, it can kill like a conversation, because they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what's going through your mind. That silence, oh. Yes. Either you're a better person than to do that. But if you did, I would just quietly unsub. The great thing some people forget about is all the choices, not what we listen to or not. Exactly. That's the thing. I don't find a reason to go after people. I want everybody to succeed. And I'm the same way as you, Heidi. Whenever I see people doing things that I don't like, and if they're continuously doing things I don't like, I just disappear. I unsub. I leave. I go away. I don't harass. I don't go after them. I've got better things to do in my life. I mean, if you go back to some of the earlier stuff that I've done in my YouTube channel, a lot of it was trolling. I didn't even realize it. A lot of it was causing drama, or being involved in drama. And once it was pointed out to me that was holding me up, that was holding any sort of success or movement forward, I changed what I was doing. I reassessed what I was doing. I said, you know what? I don't want to be a drama channel. And that's one of the reasons why whenever people started coming in here, bringing up what so-and-so is doing about such and such and hating on so-and-so, and I'm just like, not here. If you don't like Jeremy, that's fine. Don't come in here and attack my chat over it, or start, yelling about things. If you don't like this other person that's causing stuff with Jeremy, here's a real simple thing to take care of these issues. If Jeremy's presence insults you so much, you fucking mute him. You say, I'm done. I don't want to listen to him. I don't like him. I'm done. I'm over with. And you unsub. If you don't like the person that's attacking Jeremy and giving them a hard time, instead of listening to their bullshit because you need to defend them, just unsub from them. You go, see, bye. You're out of my life. You don't exist anymore. Every time one of their feeds comes up, you mute it. You don't even listen to it. Patrick W., thank you so much for becoming a new member. That I appreciate so much. I really do. And I mean that. Having new members really keeps this channel floating. Yeah, they still haven't gone to the original case Jeremy has against them. This money was just for the injunction. I know. That's the screwed up part about it. That's why I stay, because there's no drama llama here. Exactly, Heidi. I don't want people attacking people. I mean, if we can sit there and we can talk politics. And I had some guy in this morning. It was just like, you're on low energy. Okay, low energy. It's a chill morning. Like tomorrow morning, I'm going to have another low energy stream. I'm waking you guys up. I'm having a good time. We're watching the news. I talk politics. People don't like politics, and also they know that whenever I'm talking politics, that I'm not always going to be talking about my views in politics. And they can go, yeah, I don't agree with you, and they can leave. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. This is the cool part that I learned like in the 80s, probably as early as the 70s. Whenever you'd be listening to some music that you didn't like, there's that little button that you push that would jerk that dial all the way over to one side. Yeah, it's probably too old for you guys. Yeah, but you could change the damn station. You could go from listening to WLS to listening to a country music station to listening to, some smooth jazz. Just in a few pushes of a button. And you could go, damn, I'm just not really in the mood to listen to rock and roll this morning because I've heard the same playlist over and over again. And that channel is still there. You just said, I want to listen to this one today. And that's the beauty of what YouTube should be about. Instead of trying to get people canceled or destroyed, why not just change the channel for a couple of days? Or know what they're going to be talking about. Know that I'm going to probably be talking about politics in the morning and controversy and all that kind of crap. And then at night, I'm going to be talking about this kind of shit with Jeremy. Or it could be the next one that I've got that's coming up that'll be happening going. I'm sure I'm older than Shizzy. Yeah, come on, you know what I'm talking about. You have that radio right next to you. But it's on an old airline. No, it's and if you and the thing is once you turn the dial to the right station, if you pull that button out, it saves it. It's fucking amazing. Yes. No, actually, I have a birthday next month. Oh my God. I probably won't even be in town for that. I'll be out of town and I probably won't even stream. So you guys are going to have to attack me sometime next month, just as long as it isn't on the 11th. Then you'll have missed my birthday. It's so bad. God bless America.
Try and take advantage of somebody, and then the teddy gets dropped and you actually are left with the bear. I show the truth. I work within the realm of truth. Lynette is true to her name. Pathological liar. Thank you, Tina. So, just to summarize, Judge Constantine Craig DeThomasis is gone. Next step, this man needs to be removed from the bench for good. And I will 100% do everything within my financial capabilities and influence. And I don't have any power, but I will speak the truth about what he's done to me and what he's done to others. And I will do everything I can to make sure this man never sits on this bench again or any bench in the future. Just because he's gone doesn't mean he's done with me.
Yes.
We're going to take care of this the right way, the legal way, and make sure he cannot destroy anybody else's life this way. All right. That being said, there's another amazing video coming out today. I promise you, the video today will blow their mind, won't it?
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will.
It will blow your mind.
Awesome.
We are on something huge. And praise God, number one, that he continues to bless despite all the horrific circumstances that myself and George have placed it. Thank you, Jeff.
Oof.
And number two, Silver Stacks. Thank you. Number two, Patience is going to tell you number two.
What's number two?
It's a beautiful day to leave me alone. Your shirt.
Oh.
Number two is.
She didn't even notice her shirt. That's awesome.
What? You want me to read my shirt?
Yeah, just go for it.
It's a beautiful day to leave me alone.
Except we're not leaving her alone. She's working hard. So is the entire Northern team. And we appreciate your prayers. We appreciate your support. And we appreciate as you continue to pray through these next steps.
That's awesome, Heidi.
Praise God for Mark Feather, Randy Shockett, Doreen Ingalls. Praise God for Megan Fox, Larry, and the others who have been there by our side through all of this. Never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. Don't let the bad people win.
That right there touched me so much, because it was not all just about him. It was knowing that there was a lot of people that came in and brought this to light. Had this not been shown, had this not been brought to light by people like Larry and Megan Fox, it is something that really was, it got all of the voices of people to say, hey, this particular judge, this is what brought all of these people in and together, is saying, what is this judge doing? Because this is not correct. This is not proper. Just as a layman, this isn't proper. And it gives validation to what he's saying, to say, hey, this is what's happening to me. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Or maybe I'm just crazy and I'm like blowing this way out of proportion. And it was people like Megan Fox and Larry, like, no, this shouldn't be allowed. This is so wrong, that I think that right there, bringing attention to it, was the biggest thing that Jeremy did. Oh, thank you so much. You have, if I don't know, I'm batshit crazy. Judge went on Megan's wall this morning. Oh, that's beautiful. I think I was there for that. I was watching her a little bit this morning. Yeah. I was watching that in the background. I had a bunch of phone calls, so I kept having to mute it. And every time I would turn it back on, it would type something in, because I'd just be like, oh, damn. I was so busy this morning, but listening to that was just like, I saw a portion of that. I think she had like a little write up on it. Oh, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. If you haven't got a chance, go check that. Oh, you watched the replay later? Yeah. It was good. I was there this morning for that. The next one I have for you is going to be disturbing. Okay. It's really, really, this one hit me in a really weird way. I will probably cover a little bit of this in the morning. There's not really much to talk about as far as news goes. I mean, if you want to know the news, Ukraine attacked Russia, went actually into Russia, attacking them. They saved a pipeline. It looks like they're moving towards a nuclear reactor, which powers a good portion of Russia up. Looks like Walls is running with Kamala Harris and JD Vance and Trump. Basically, are asking why Kamala won't do any interviews. And there you go. There's the news for tomorrow. That's probably going to be all you're going to get out of the news. Oh, by the way, in the UK, they are rioting. And if you show any of it or talk about any of it, you will probably be arrested, because that's not allowed in the UK. So there you go. There's my morning stream for tomorrow. So we'll probably watch a little more of this next one that I'm going to show you. And it's heartbreaking. Now, if you don't know what this is about, there was a child, not a small child either. We're talking a child that could be tried as an adult, physically attacked a substitute teacher, or not necessarily a substitute, but an interim teacher attacked them because they were misbehaving in class. They were paying more attention to their toy than actually doing the work that they were supposed to be doing. We're talking about a regular school. This isn't like a special ed school or something. And of course, this child they're stating that he's autistic, and he attacked a teacher and knocked her unconscious. Like stomped her head until she became unconscious. And he got 5 years in prison. There's people that are outraged about this because, it's because of the color of his skin. And if you see the brutality that this person displayed, if you're not going to put him in prison, you're not going to put him in a mental institution because they've got no control over mental capacity, but yet you're going to complain about them. So this is what we're going to be watching probably over the next couple of days. It is probably some of the most disturbing stuff that you're going to see. So if you don't remember about this, or you're not interested in this, I understand. This is what I hate seeing. So just giving you guys a warning ahead of time. This will be some disturbing stuff here. So don't be too upset about it. But just be aware of what this is about.
Like a very specific knowledge of Brendan is necessary to kind of modulate all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
They claim.
What about autism?
They claim that he's autistic. Okay. Now, the problem with autistic is because they use what's called a spectrum. So they've got this wide, broad swath of anybody that can be functioning and anybody that could be nonverbal autistic. Okay. It's the same way, because this is going to get political and it's going to sound shitty. And I don't mean to sound shitty because I have a very close friend that they have twins. Their son is autistic. He's a nonverbal autistic. And he gives the appearance of being crazy, but I will also say that he is not in school with the regular students. He goes to a special school that caters to autistic. He has to go through therapy. It is very constant, and they have to be very vigilant about this. If you're using this as autistic or any other reason, just know that this child stomped a teacher's head, knocked them unconscious. It took 4 people to remove him off of this teacher. And the only thing that she did was take away his Nintendo Switch. It doesn't matter what color skin you have. It doesn't matter what disability you have. If a child acts that way, that's almost an adult, what happens in the real world whenever a police officer asks them to stop groping that person, stop grabbing your junk in the middle of a mall? No, you have to leave. We're closing now. What happens that they would attack somebody and cause bodily injury to them? If you're not going to put them in prison, put them into a mental institution. You have to do something to correct the behavior. You cannot make excuses for this kind of behavior. I just want you to keep that in mind, and we'll move on.
Mm-hmm. When was he diagnosed?
Well, some of the medications they wanted to put him on from the age of 4 was for autism, and the ones that I didn't want. And
I don't know of any medications that treat autism. Your youngest, borderline nonverbal, but he knows better than to strike anyone. So is there medication that you can give some child for autism? I don't think there is. I could be wrong in this. I don't know because I'm not a doctor.
I remember at that time, the psychiatrist saying something about autism, and I didn't want her to put that in the notes for the insurance company and everything. That at that time, I still felt like autism was such a harmful diagnosis for, following along with you throughout.
That is a lie. Okay. That's what I thought. This is a lie that she's telling. These are, so I'm new to this case, but this is Brenda Deppa. Okay. Brenda Deppa is about a 6'2" gentleman, well, not gentleman, a 6'2" child that took down a 5' something teacher and stomped them. I know that even as and I'm talking about my wife's good friend's daughter. She was actually a bridesmaid at our wedding. This is whenever she first got married. She was a bridesmaid at our wedding. She has twins. That she also realizes that he's very damn strong for his size. She's tiny. She's like, I know there's going to be a time that I'm not going to be able to control him. He has physical outbursts where her husband, which is a former Navy, has to wrap him up and hold him because he's very violent. They also realize that he's very violent. This is why they don't put him in these kinds of situations where he could be doing damage to him or other people. I've seen him get very aggressive and very violent towards other children. And they make it very clear, very quickly, that this is not acceptable. DX of autism is not dangerous diagnosis, for crying out loud. What the fuck, lady? Yeah.
Life that, and the fact that we were homeschooling him, I didn't really want him to have that diagnosis.
That's bad. So she's part of the problem. This woman right here is part of the problem.
So whether or not you wanted it reduced to paper, you observe those characteristics.
Yeah, the sensory issues, the being inflexible in his thought process, everything black and white. Yeah.
All right. So then I'm autistic. Is that what you're saying? Because that's how I view things, is in black and white. Like if you tell me that you're going to do something, I expect you to do it. Guess. So I guess I'm autistic too. But you don't see me ever jumping up and stomping somebody into the ground.
So as we're progressing here.
Mr. Tyfke, let me interrupt you for just a second. I apologize. So on the Zoom connection, we have a Dr. Schlepper.
What's the last name, Judge?
Schlepper. If you look third from the bottom.
Okay.
Is that a witness? Schlepper?
Schlepper, no. I have Dr. Julie Harper as a witness who will be on Zoom, but no other expert.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't an expert witness you were expecting to testify. It's not for you as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
If I can say something, that there's been a bunch of behavioral analysts that have been following this, and so a lot of them have their doctorate degrees. It's probably one of them.
Okay. Sure. I mean,
well, that doesn't matter. So yeah, see, this is the problem with these online degrees and all of this kind of crap that these people want to throw out there. Oh yeah, I've got a degree. It's just like, yeah, I'm a professional YouTuber. You know what it takes to be a professional YouTuber? to get paid. That's all it takes to be a professional YouTuber. You know what it takes to be a professional musician? Get paid at one gig. That's all it takes to be a professional musician. Okay? I have little faith in professionals. But I agree with you, Scott's Cat. This lady is the problem.
It's an open proceeding. I just wanted to make sure that it was going to, we weren't accidentally admitting people that were going to be testifying in the case without the attorneys knowing.
Sure. So how is home life otherwise during these years, the homeschooling years?
Oh, wow. I love that. Debbie Morin, you should. I enjoyed hearing her, especially since you grew up with a SPED teacher specializing in the blind and deaf. Man, that is amazing. You have to understand that I rode the short bus in school. I joke not. I rode the short bus in school. My brother, my oldest brother, was put into special ed. My oldest brother was put into special ed because he had, at the time, what they call hyperactivity. So he was hyperactive. They gave him drugs that you wouldn't normally give to kids that age, you know, things like cocaine. The problem that he ran into is because he found that that is what would take care of issues. Whenever he ran into an issue, it was, what pill can I take with to cure whatever it is? What drug can I take to calm me down? What drug can I take to get rid of depression? What drug can I take to make me happy? What drug can I take to bring me down? What drug can I take to help me go to sleep? Instead of being able to get inside your own head and say, I don't need that to do any of this. So did you for 3 years, occupational therapy for ADD. Yeah. So there was no such thing as ADD. They just called it hyperactive. And he was put on medications. They put him in special ed until they realized that it wasn't even, that wasn't his problem. He didn't actually have hyperactive disorder. The problem is he was dyslexic. So everything appeared backwards to him. He was also a lefty. So everything appeared backwards to him. Whenever he would try to write his name, his S's would be backwards, his D's would be backwards, his B's, all that kind of stuff would be backwards. It was almost like a mirror image for him. He didn't know this at the time. The teachers didn't have any way of knowing this at the time. Once they got to a place where there was a little bit more knowledge, they were like, oh, you have dyslexia. Let's work on training that. And a lot of his frustration and his acting out went away. But the seeds were already planted in his head of him being retarded. They considered him to be a retard. And that will fuck with a child all the way until they're in their teens. My brother, at the age of 19, took a bunch of drugs and drove a tractor and just about decapitated himself. And it was because these people decided to ignore what the real root cause of the problem was. And yeah, it was addiction in the worst possible way. And whenever I see people like this woman here making up excuses for it, it pisses me off. So, yeah, heartbreaking all to shit, especially whenever my grandparents are the one that have to find his body. So, yeah, it was heartbreaking. At the age of 19, my older brother was no longer. Same way with my wife. She lost a younger sibling that the prior week was celebrating with her. And she had to stop her vacation short because he OD'd on heroin. Yeah. That is the downside to these people making excuses for other people. Had those excuses not been made for my older brother, he would probably still be around. He would have gotten the help that he needed. But because there wasn't that kind of help, he never was able to. You graduated from college with your ASL sign language communication degree, withdrew from my 3-year interpreter program, started my RA, then started making signing impossible. Oh man, that's crazy. Well, here's the thing, Debbie. If you don't know who Dictionary Diva is, both Dictionary Diva and Volstorm will sign for you. Yeah, they both sign very well. Well, I have them on every Sunday that I possibly can because they're awesome.
We, so I started off with just him, and then I was taken into a lot of co-op programs, and we got involved with other homeschool families where we were wanting to do stuff like go camping and do things to bring the children and families together. And so I was struggling with getting my other kids in time from school and everything, and so I pulled them to pull them out, started homeschooling them as well. And that became more of a challenge, trying to homeschool 3 children and get 3 children to various co-ops and things like that.
Yeah, that will affect all of his parenting. Yeah, absolutely. 3rd grade, Principal asked him if he thought he was, yeah, that would change a lot of attitude. You also have to remember my brother now would be in his 60s. Yeah, he'd be well into his 60s right now.
But again, everybody just kind of knew Brendan and kind of watched out for him. You had the mothers that watched out for him. Multiple homeschool mothers that knew him and watched out for him. Ones we even went to church with, and that would sit and hold his hand in church and stroke his hand in church, get him a blanket and cover him up in church. So
you coddled him, which is understandable. So why did you have him go into a normal school? Why were you sending him to school with a Nintendo Switch?
We had a very tight homeschool community that we were involved with that really helped to support us as a family.
Now, at this point, I suppose we're into 2016, 17, 18-ish. Are there any medications that are being attempted with Brendan?
We had tried various ADHD type meds as he got to where he could swallow. But
what is an ADHD type medicine? Were you giving him cocaine? Were you giving him Ritalin? That's not going to work on a child that's autistic. So she was denying what his diagnosis was. So is it, and I asked this, so should she be spending prison time also? ADHD meds can be a lot. No, I'm talking about what drugs they were. Were they giving him cocaine? Were they giving him Ritalin? I mean, if you've got a child that's autistic, giving them drugs is not going to be the answer. And here's the thing. Okay. Not too long ago, we had a child of a particular area that went in and shot up a building. Okay. They took a lot of freaking lives. And do you know what they did? They took the parents and they held them liable and arrested them also. And those parents are also spending time in prison for allowing him to have whatever weapon it was that might have caused all of this. So if you're going to do that to these parents, then why is this lady not being prosecuted and thrown in jail and serving time along with her child? And I'm serious about that. This is the two-tier system that you see in our justice system that people don't understand. I can't understand why she's not serving time along with her child, because it seems to me that she was drugging him up, causing problems, and allowing him to run rampant. She basically set him loose on a school system that he went in there and stomped a teacher into the dirt. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty freaking brutal. I'll show it later. You just keep watching. I will show it later. It's not happy.
It has such horrible side effects from him. There was a particular medication where he felt like he was being swarmed by flies, which was one of his biggest fears. And he would have to wear a towel or a hoodie over his head and hold it on real tight. The doctor, instead of taking him off the medication, prescribed just to giving 50 milligrams of Benadryl along with it. We eventually moved away from meds because we could just see the meds were, at that time, what was available was, it was causing so many side effects like that.
So no single medication in and of itself or any combination of medications?
At that time, but we were still real limited because of his age, what could be given, and also limited. And, just that when they would try something, he would just have a severe reactions to it.
And what sort of doctors or professionals are in his life?
And I will show you what I'm talking about, because this right here needs to be shown. And if you're disturbed by graphic images right now, I would suggest turning it off for the next 2 minutes. Just close whatever thing that you have for the next 2 minutes, because I'm going to count it down. In the next 2 minutes, you're going to see some of the most violent imagery that you've seen in quite some time. But if you're curious to see what this child did, what caused him to be put in front of a jury for him to plead no contest to, then you've got about another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Quite frankly, it was shocking.
Investigators say when a teacher's aide at Matanzas High School took a 17-year-old ESE student's video game away, he chased after her into the hallway and, according to the report, pushed the victim so hard it took her off her feet in the air 5 to 6 feet, knocking her unconscious.
This could have been homicide. When you push people down like that, they hit their head. You never know the outcome.
Am I going to jail? Yes, you are. For how long? I do not know. I don't make that determination.
The 17-year-old, seen here with campus resource deputies, allegedly continued his assault as the teacher's aide lay helpless on the ground. Investigators say surveillance shows the student kicking her, then getting on top of her and punched her in the body and back of the head approximately 15 times.
He's 6'7", 270 pounds, and he's in high school. Okay.
6'7", 270 pounds.
That's a big kid.
You gonna be cool with Deputy King and I? I don't want to go to jail. Well, look at me. Look at me. I have more important places. I understand.
The sheriff says Matanzas has 2 SRDs at the high school, but it's a big campus, so it took them several minutes to arrive.
Fortunately, other students and other faculty members, administrators came and intervened.
The students charged with felony aggravated battery and, of course, will be subject of school discipline, including possible expulsion. As first responders tended to the victim, the 17-year-old detained and being walked away, according to the report, he started to spit towards the victim and said when he comes back, he's going to kill her.
Yes. Yes. I don't think most parents need to be prosecuted, but there are some who do more harm than good. I have no idea where that line is drawn. I don't think that parents should be prosecuted for any of this. At some point, you have to take responsibility for your own actions. And that's my firm belief. Even with this, I don't think the parents should be tried for this or made to deal with this. He was expelled, tried as an adult. Absolutely. And that's why he pled out on no contest. And that's why he's given 5 years. I was almost 6 watching it the first time. Thank you, Starzy. I appreciate you for not watching it the first time or the last time. It is a sad thing to watch. It really is, and that's why I wanted to give you the warning ahead of time. Now, whenever you see that, take into context what they are talking about, what they are having to say, and their lame excuses for these kinds of things, because that is what it comes down to.
He had primary care. He had a psychiatrist at that point.
Is there, was he ever prescribed by the psychiatrist any sort of medication, antipsychotic medication?
Yeah, so in 2017, my family went through major.
No, that would be a typical sentence. You also have to understand, I believe, and I could be wrong, he's on 15 or 10 years of probation. Okay. So yes, it seems like it's a low sentence. 5 years gets him out of society, and it sucks that he's being put in prison. If there was a way to put him into a mental institution to get him to learn how to cope with his anger issues, that would be probably the best. But this is something that is dangerous. 6'7", 200 plus pounds, and he takes down a teacher that's barely 5 foot something. Yeah, there's no excuse for that. Time a group beat up a truck driver years back. Yeah, I remember Denny. I remember when that happened. I'm assuming he's adopted. Yes.
Your crisis. I had avoided all of the scarier medications that had been recommended until that happened. That my mother, I could feel, was dying. I didn't know what was wrong with her. I was trying to figure it out after months of going back and forth, figuring out she had pancreatic cancer. So I was dividing my week between my parents' home 4 hours away and my home, trying to still homeschool, trying to still help my mom, save my mom. And so she had to have a couple of hospital stays at that same time.
And all I've heard from this mom is excuses. All I've heard from her are excuses of, well, I had this going on, I had that going on, this was going on. This person attacked another person. Is she that scared of, and I'm wondering, is she abused? I mean, that makes me concerned for her. Is she the kind that takes abuse or gives abuse? Because this is not a good situation. I mean, I feel for her that this has happened, but this is not about her. This is about a person that attacked another person and could have easily killed them had they been in another situation. Is this a child, a person, an adult? Is this a human being that you want walking down the street, and because you look at them the wrong way, they attack you and violently beat you to every inch of your life? That turns around and tells the cop, F you. What are you going to do about it? I'm not going to jail. And then starts spitting at them. Is that the kind of person you want to have in civilization, in your society? And I'm sure that there's some good qualities to this person, and you caught them at a really bad day, but the bad day is what is going to define you. That attack, that violent attack, had he killed her, would you be sitting up here bemoaning, oh, well, it's because we were not giving him the right drugs. We weren't giving him the right treatment. This to me sounds like she feels guilt over it, that guilt should not be with her. The guilt is with the person that did the attacking. You didn't do the attacking, Sweet Cheeks.
At the same time, my daughter, she had a mass in her brain.
Excuse. Stop with the excuses.
To have it removed.
And this is 2000.
Excuses. There is no reason for this. And this is the victim mentality. Oh, and you wonder why I talk about politics in the morning. I try to stay out of them at night. This is not normal behavior. This is not normal behavior for any human being. For her to feel any sort of guilt, to make excuses of, well, because, okay, so whenever a guy comes home and he beats the shit out of his wife and goes, well, it's just because I had a bad day, honey. I mean, the boss was riding my ass all day, so I'm going to come home and I'm going to slap you and the kids around for a couple of hours. Oh, it's like, forgive me. No, that's not how we behave in a normal situation. And these things need to be addressed. This is the problem we're running into with America in general, is that, oh, it's okay, honey. I understand you had a bad day. No, you were acting like an asshole. Go get some fucking help. Jesus Christ.
2018, 17.
Yeah, 17, 18. It was all just kind of back to back. And after her surgery, she was more impulsive. And so
yeah, absolutely.
I agreed to put him on the medications that I had avoided.
A lot of challenges on the home
Medication isn't going to help these attacks at all. No.
front.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you're trying to manage the best you can. And so part of that mix is attempting some medications with Brendan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was that to any success or no?
No. So
that's right.
With these medications, like you can't just like stop anything cold turkey. Everything has to be weaned on and weaned off. And
thank you, Heidi.
so,
I agree.
When we were going through this and I was calling for Baker Acts because the medications weren't working, I went back and I looked, and over that time period, he was on 17 different cocktails of medications.
Really? She said that she wasn't giving him any drugs. So which is it? Which is it, Mom? Did you ever think to maybe sit down and get him some serious mental health? And what was that? One pill makes you large. One pill makes you small. Thank Alice. Yeah, there you go. God, they were so ahead of their time. It's not about the drugs you're pumping into your kids. Maybe taking responsibility. If they have a clear head, if they don't have a clear head, then they clearly need to be removed from normal society. Just saying.
Because of all the professionals involved.
Wow. Okay.
That, each time he went into a.
Let me ask, are these the same professionals that tell kids to chop off their dongs and women to chop off their breastages and pump you full of hormones? Are these the same professionals that you're listening to? Wondering. Just curious.
Baker Act, I asked the psychiatrist, please talk to his psychiatrist out in the community who's treating him, find out what they've used, what they want to try next. And
they
would
want
never
to
talk
try
to them.
next? That's not how
that's
it works.
Standard, they don't talk to him. And so they would put him on a medication and I would get him out. And sometimes she would turn around and go right back in because it was
She would take the medication. She would take him off the medication.
In and out that.
Wait, she was taking him off the medication that they were prescribing for him? She was screwing up with everything. It's like if they've got him on a medication, they're trying something out to make sure that it works. And you're saying, oh, this isn't working because I don't like the results. He's lethargic. He's not the same vibrant, happy child that he normally is. Okay, so they're trying something to make sure that he's doing okay. And you're taking him off the medication. Then you go and see another expert. What the F is wrong with this lady? I see she's got like all the nice little gold bracelets and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this stuff that she's wearing is not cheap. So is it all about her and oh, I'm helping out a poor black child? What the fuck is wrong with these people? What is wrong with this lady? I mean, Jesus freaking Christ. What she think that she was going to be something special for a child, and she's going to dope him up, but then she's going to say, "Oh, I don't like the way that this is he's handling this, so I'm going to take him off of it." This is like Munchausen syndrome bullshit level crap. What the fuck is wrong with her?
Here with all these doctors doing opposite of each other,
right,
and adding on to each other.
And what did, if we're saying medications are not working, what does not working look like?
What it looks like is just, being so over emotional, reacting really fast, can quickly go from being happy to being upset. His mood was not stable.
Because you're going to fucking 5 different goddamn specialists, and each one of them is going to have a different diagnosis, and they're giving them different fucking drugs. Did you ever think maybe these drugs are interacting with one another? Did you ever come up with the concept of maybe if he's taking this one drug and he takes another one, that it doesn't give him some fucking violent episodes? You psycho fucking bitch. Jesus Christ. I'm not about locking up parents over children's shit, but this is a woman causing the goddamn issue. Fuck me. Holy fucking cow. I mean, this is insane. This lady is switching from doctor to doctor, not consulting with one another, pumping this kid with fucking drugs. Oh my fucking God. What the fuck is she doing? Did she fucking cause this shit? Is anybody even going to fucking call her out on it? Is anybody going to go and say, listen, lady, you were telling Dr. A that this thing was going on, and then you take him over to Dr. B And he's just like, yeah, I mean, it seems like we should be maybe doing this, but those two medicines that he's got, and then you go to Dr. C and D and D, F and G, and you're fucking running it down the goddamn line. Good Lord, lady, no wonder this kid's fucked up. You've given him fucking drugs out the wazoo, thinking that you can fix him. Holy shit. The child did not fit into her life narrative, so play the game. Help him fit into my perfect lifestyle. That's what it sounds like to me. Shit, fire. I'm sorry if I was listening to this shit, I would be having her fucking arrested almost immediately and checked out, because she's got some serious fucking psychological issues. I think she fucked this child up. God bless. What the hell? What, she losing her side piece or something? Fuck, I don't know what the hell's up with this lady. She is psycho.
Was there also, sorry, were there also additional diagnoses at this time of
God.
Oppositional defiant disorder,
Yeah.
explosive disorder, et cetera?
It depends on, which time you go into a crisis state, that doctor would throw on another label.
Okay. But those were on offer
Yeah.
at this time as well. And
holy
it sounds like
shit.
you're describing there's a behavioral reflection of these disorders, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Is aggression any part of that?
absolutely. Aggression was a part of it.
Okay.
So is he aggressive towards you? I mean, I'm yeah, that's why you said earlier, I don't know where the line is drawn, but one does sound that this is unintentionally, possibly intentionally. Yeah. I'm sorry. I see it now. Holy shit. Holy shit. This child may not even know what the hell is going on because he's so doped up. Fuck me.
Do you feel like you've learned a thing or two about these disorders in your?
Yeah, and I think I've learned what I was doing wrong and what I can do different.
You are not a doctor by any means. You don't have the knowledge. You are a layman. You are a cross stitcher that's trying to medicate children. You are one of these crude crime fucking buffs that thinks you can solve goddamn crime by looking at only part of the evidence. Oh my fucking God, you are a psycho. Holy fucking cow. This lady is a goddamn psychopath. Oh, sorry, Brendan.
Now that at that time, I was not able to regulate my own emotions, that I was dealing with so much between my mother and my daughter.
Right.
I was overwhelmed, and I couldn't, when he would ratchet up and he would escalate, my emotions would escalate. I could feel my heart pounding. I could feel, struggling with, how to get the situation in hand, especially seeing as my daughter was recovering and her brain was so fragile, that I was just, I was trying to manage the best I can, and I was failing.
And if we're talking narrowly about aggression or anger, or maybe just overly.
This lady is psycho.
Do you fear that can be?
Oh my God.
Mistaken to someone by someone who doesn't know them as just aberrant behavior?
Oh yeah, because I mean, somebody with autism looks just like you and me. You can't look at somebody and say that person doesn't look like they have autism.
Lady.
And it was another
Lady.
thing when it would happen out in public that
lady.
There's two white parents and we have a black child, and
that has nothing to do with anything. This lady is a fucking psycho. Why is she not being charged? She has been drugging this fucking kid up the goddamn wazoo. What the hell is going on? I mean, I'm not all about going after parents, but if a parent this is clear fucking abuse. Holy shit. Wait, forever, not me. This is fucking goddamn abuse this lady's been doing to this child. This lady has been abusing the child. Holy fucking cow. Wow. Just wow.
The fear when we were out in public that, people would think that we're kidnapping him.
That's her.
Or that,
That's her.
Something, I always had fears.
What have you done specifically to educate
That's
yourself
her.
about autism?
That's her issue.
Well, throughout the years, I continued, like I said, I took classes in therapeutic listening and early on and did these kind of things. And those things worked with him while he would let me use them with him.
No, you're psycho, lady.
My specialty is not autism as an OT, but I have access to all the courses that therapists and even psychologists have.
Okay.
And so I've been taking courses,
crazy
a
lady.
master class in autism. I've taken training in helping your clients with emotional regulation.
This does not matter. Meds don't fix the issue, only change the synopsis of the brain to potentially help. That's why a psych eval from specialists who specializes in reactive attachment, ADHD, and autism and counseling is needed. Exactly. I mean, if you're doping your fucking kid up, you need to. But here's the problem. She was just bouncing from doctor to doctor. Oh my fucking God. Jesus Christ. To her, it was some sort of badge of honor to have a black child. Oh, we adopted a black child. What the fuck is wrong with you people? It seems like the only, here's the thing. I've had friends that have married interracially, and they have had children. I've had people that have adopted children of various races, and they don't have these issues. They don't even think about it as far as being, oh, little Timmy is black, or little Judy is Asian. They don't think of it as that. It's like they think of it as like, this is our daughter, Julie. This is our son, Timmy. And if people are just like, okay, that's how most people are. It's like, okay. It's like, so I don't see any family resemblance. Like, oh, no, we adopted. But there's never that conversation or walking out in public of going, oh, this is my adopted black child. Look, everybody needs to pay attention. Look, I have an adopted black child. Oh, look, I have an adopted black child. No, that's not how normal people fucking act. If they're looking over their shoulder over that kind of stuff, they probably got some fucking weird shit going on in their fucking head. I don't know. I'd be really, really, really skeptical of that. I'm sitting there looking at, an interracial marriage, and all I see is that they've got a beautiful, I've got a beautiful niece or nephew. I've never looked at it as like, oh, I have a black beautiful niece or nephew, or a white niece or nephew. No, I look at it as like, look at this wonderful child. Look at how vibrant they are and how happy they are. And yeah, you want to go play catch. You want to go do something. Let's go have some fun. I never look at it as, oh, well, this is interracial or it's some crap like that until I'm talking with you guys. I don't really fucking care. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Jesus Christ. This is why you should never let a racist raise your fucking children. God damn it.
I've been reading all kinds of books on the polyvagal theory and on internal family systems. So I've been spending my time educating myself further.
Does that education, what you've learned about autism, help inform how you view behaviors?
Oh, absolutely. That what is going on below the surface, what need is not being met, and what is he trying to communicate?
You had mentioned Baker Acts.
Thank you.
When was that first?
I agree.
Those were first started, I believe, in 2018.
Now, it wasn't clear to me. Was there a precipitating event, or it sounds like it's in this time frame of chaos on the home front? Were there also events that caused you to do that, or is this some sort of tool?
It all blurs together, I'll be honest. Okay. It blurs together. But a lot of it was aggression between him and his sister, and calling in.
So how did it come to pass that you avail yourself of this option of a Baker Act, a mental health intervention?
The professionals would tell me, the professionals would say, if he acted out, call 911.
Or so on the advice of
the professionals see that this child is turning fucking violent, and you're saying, well, you know, they're saying call 911, and you know, he just smacked her around a few times. No, Sir Frank Otter. No, I put her on the level of fucking Himmler. That's where I put her on the fucking level of. This lady is there's something freaking wrong with her. She is willfully allowing a child that is goddamn violent. I've never talked to this, just like, oh, you know, he gets a little bit angry at times. No, we're talking about a child that more than likely has picked up another child and slammed them around whenever he doesn't get his way. And the professionals are saying this child is violent, and whenever he starts getting like this, you need to be calling 911. I'll play it back. That's just what they told her. And yet she's sending him off to fucking school. Holy shit. What the hell? What is up with this lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're telling her to call 911.
Mental health intervention.
The professionals would tell me, the professionals would say, if he acted out, call 911.
Yet she throws him into a goddamn school system. There is somebody needs to do some serious looking into this lady, because this lady is a fucking psycho. I would not want her touching my children or being anywhere near them.
So on the advice of, was that at all a way to access, to open any doors that were otherwise closed to services, or?
So as it started, I just thought, okay, it would be a medication change. But then as it was going on, and there was more and more medications added in, and these huge cocktails.
Exactly.
He was gaining 10 pounds a month. He had been an average sized kid, and he started gaining 10 pounds a month. And he was.
Because he went from being like 5 foot nothing at like 13 to being 6 foot freaking 7. And all of a sudden she's probably going, I can't even feed this kid. How do I keep up with this? Okay. How many of you have children? Just a little hand up in the air. If you have children. I don't have any children, but I have nieces and nephews. Okay. So just raise your hand up if you have children. How many of your children you all of a sudden go seeing them at like 13 to like 17, and they go from being like like 5 nothing to like 6'3" or 6'5". They're just all of a sudden these monsters that are long, lanky, they're goofy, they can't fucking walk straight, and they've got zits and pimples, and they're aggressive and they're angry and they're pissed off, and they can't shower properly, and they smell and they stink, and they got stinky feet, and they're horrible, they're just rotten, and they're bad, they're awful, and you still love them to death. Why? Because they are the spawn of your fucking groin. Okay, and I'm just saying that this is not abnormal fucking behavior, but this woman has never had fucking children, and she looks like she's in her goddamn 60s. She's never had children. What is she? Is she the crazy fucking cat lady that we keep saying, hey, maybe you want not allow your kids around the fucking crazy cat ladies? There's your fucking crazy cat lady right the fuck there. Jesus fucking Christ. Look at her with her fucking fist just clenched. I can't understand why all of a sudden this child is growing. He's getting big. He's not the cute little fucking token black child that I had, that I could show off to everybody and all my friends and show them how great I was because look at me. I'm a white woman with a black child. Oh, fuck you, woman. The fuck is wrong with these people? Jesus Christ. Now, I mean, even I guarantee you, Heidi's probably sitting there going, yeah, I've had 3 of them that went from 5'2" to 100 pounds to 13 to 6'5" and 245 pounds at 16. Yeah, they get big fast. Boom. They just explode. This lady was unprepared for it, unable to handle it, and was just like, holy cow, my cost of food just went through the roof. Maybe if I give them more drugs. Shit me.
Was hungry all the time. And that had been one of his triggers also, was being hungry. And so these medications made him just starving to where he would just hoard food. And
yes. Plus he's fucking growing. He's a big boy. He's fucking 6'7". Jesus Christ, lady. You are not the crazy cat lady. You are not telling other people how to raise their children. Are you? I will tell you, I had the sweetest lady that lived next door to us in our old place, and she was the crazy cat lady. But also, she didn't try to raise other people's children. And believe it or not, she was very, very conservative. But she was just not all about raising other people's children. It's just like, I don't know anything about raising children because I never had any. And I'm not going to tell other people how to raise children. I mean, I have nieces and nephews and they're sweet, but it's also great that I can give them back. Because I don't want to ever have children. That's not her goal. That was never her goal. But the people that do have children understand that, yeah, you don't allow this kind of crap to happen. And the fact that a man in the household, like if this lady is saying that she's married and she's got a husband, why in the F is this husband not stepping up and saying, no, this is not appropriate. We're not going to have this. Is she single? Is she by herself? I'm very confused. This lady is fucking psycho. No, no, do you? Yeah. No, you do you. Exactly. No, I'm talking about the crazy cat ladies that should not be raising children. No, if you missed out on it, you missed out on it. Be happy that you missed out on it. Go fucking live your life to the fullest. I'm telling you. My wife's aunt, she is happy with her Weimaraners, and she has nothing to do with any children. She has no children of her own. She loves her nieces and nephews, and she does not tell them how to be raised. And believe it or not, she's just as liberal as my wife. But she's also just like, yeah, those are not my kids. I don't care. I'm not going to tell them how to raise my children. Raise children. No, I don't care. It's like I got my Weimaraners. They're enough of a pain in the ass. Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that we needed residential. We needed to figure out the medication. We needed a medication wash. And with the goal of taking them off of all the medications and starting over, because these doctors were just piling one on top of another. And so I was told the only way to get him to residential was to have a paper trail to call every single time he acted out, so we could get the paper trail.
I see. Okay. So developing some sort of history that could thereafter be relied on by a residential facility. And
but it's not.
Greasing the wheels of admission.
Okay. Then why are you sending them off to school?
I'm sorry.
Doesn't pick up
I'm sorry.
I understand. So at this point, were
crazy,
and to the extent that you can speak for family members, afraid of Brendan?
I was more afraid for Brendan and his sister together, how they were.
Star Z, that is awesome. You're a spinster, love all my friends' children, treat all children with care, use positive stories, teach them to use their minds. And that right there is so admirable, because there's nothing wrong with being a spinster. There is absolutely nothing wrong, because your gift to those children, your gift to those children is immeasurable. I have known plenty of spinsters in my life, plenty, that they were just so happy to have children around and to be able to share stories with. And those stories were invaluable to me as a child, to hear them say, hey, you know, that's not the proper way to treat a lady. If you want to treat a lady properly, this is what you do. This is the things that you say to a lady to give them respect that they deserve. And if you're not going to treat them with respect, then why would you communicate with them? No, spinsters were very helpful in my life. So no, I have got nothing against spinsters at all. My problem is with the spinsters that want to tell parents how to raise their children, never having raised any of their own. And they're 5'3", and I scare the shit out of your 6'2" son-in-law. Hell yeah, CJ, that's damn right, as you should. That's just 100% of the time Grudge Judge was talking. Oh yeah, it's just the time Grudge Judge was talking. That's right. There you go. That's right. Mm-hmm. I think he looks a lot like me. I'm dynamite.
Going at each other, and I just I could see a way out with treating him in the home at that time.
But it wasn't working. You sent him outside of the home.
I might have lost the chronology here, but if we're talking like the middle school years, we're still in the homeschool.
Yeah, yes.
Is that working?
It was working.
For the same reasons that you talked about before?
The same reasons. There was just as many moms as there were kids everywhere I took him. And so every mom was responsible for her child and making sure that her child was behaving. And so we didn't run into the issues.
Right. And you hadn't tried the public school again, right?
I tried it one time at 8th grade.
Okay.
And that was at a recommendation of another expert.
Okay. To no success?
To no success.
Oh, it's the expert's fault.
And we've heard on day
Yeah,
one
well,
testimony
let's blame the expert
a
again.
residential placement in South Carolina, Springbrook.
Springbrook.
How did that come about and when?
So, we
That's funny. You're still scared shitless. You're 5'11", 99-pound mom. She could whoop my ass even with her mangled leg on a crutch. Oh, damn right. No, I will tell you. I will tell you that my wife's grandmother, I would be scared shitless of her. Unfortunately, we lost her a few years back. But she was one of those, was like, you better treat my granddaughter right. She did not tolerate shit whatsoever. And she was like, if I have to come back from the grave to hurt you, I will. You better treat my granddaughter right. No, I have a lot of respect for a woman that stands up for her beliefs and is proud to say, hey, that's not cool. Be respectful. Stop. And a perfect example is Toy. Hey man, and I had a particular name that I called Camel Toe one day, and she was just like, "Hey, I don't like that." And I said, I think I can accommodate that. Camel Toe works, and it instead of getting into an argument or causing a big scene about it, it's just like, hey. No, because that is pretty that can be offensive to some people. Camel toe can be just as bad, and anybody can take it as what they want to. But yeah, no, you got to show a little bit of respect. This lady has no respect for anybody.
Through the adoption support system that I had, they helped me with.
Oh. God, yes, CJ. Oh, the Waltons. That was like, good night, John Boy. Yeah, that was one that I grew up with. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Trying to get coverage through Medicaid to help him. That our insurance company wasn't going to pay for much of anything, and it was. There was nothing in the state.
That's right.
And so
that's right, Otter.
The only place that both our insurance and Medicaid covered was in South Carolina. We would have liked for him to be closer to home, but so it was in South Carolina. We transported him there in November of 2019, and the plan was that my husband and I were going to alternate going and seeing him once a month, to fly up there and spend time with him once a month, because the residential is also about bringing families working well back together again.
Sure.
And so being able to spend time with them, both there at the facility and then also time apart, taking them places, and then eventually work up to, spending weekends together and things like that.
And what was the overarching goal here in your estimation? What was
my goal that I wanted was a complete medication wash. I wanted him.
It's all about you. It's all about you, sweetheart. My goal was to get this point. That's my goal. Without listening to the goal of the child. Her goal was, I want this to happen. I want us to be a big, happy family. Did you ever think that the doctors are saying this child has issues? He has problems. So your goals don't matter, sweetheart. What are your goals for the child? What is going to be in his best interest? It appears that is more about her best interest and her keeping a certain perspective of how people see her.
Take him off of all of his medications and work on the coping skills and see, after taking him off his medication and working with him with coping skills, working with him with OT and all these kind of things, see if he really needed medication and how much, put him on and start kind of from the baseline again. Because like I said, this kid had gone through over 17 medications that were mixed back and forth before that.
And from what you had,
and that was because of you. The reason the kid was getting so many medications was because of you, you psycho. Oh. All these comments by people show me that there was respect for parents. Nowadays, that does not exist like it did in our age. It's my opinion, but this group respected the family union. Yes. Yes, that right there was the biggest thing. We have destroyed in the United States the family union. And whenever people try to remain as a family unit and keep those, and I will tell you, some of our really good friends that are very liberal. I mean, whenever I say very liberal, they're just like they're left, or they're so far fucking left. But the thing is they keep that family unit. so much so that they don't tolerate the bullshit from other people. Like this kind of shit that this lady is pulling right here, this would never be tolerated. Never. No. No. It is, they're all about family. Whenever people sit there and talk about, oh, there's a difference between conservative and liberal. No, there isn't, because they're raising their child and they're looking at one of them that's got severe diabetic allergies. Like this kid went and at 16 wanted to get a tattoo of having to notify people that he was diabetic, so they didn't misdiagnose him as being drunk or some crap like that. At 16, they were contacting me going, well, do you know a good tattoo artist that can do this for him? We will sit there and we will make sure that this happens, but we want our son to make sure that he knows that this is going to happen. You know what that kid is doing now? He's an intern. He's a doctor now. He has been working to becoming a doctor for quite some time. Their next son is going to be a veterinarian. They are very much about family. And as liberal as they are, that is still their deep down seated goal is, we want to raise our children right. We want to do right by our kids. We might be a little bit more free loving than most of them, but they're pretty damn solid. They're pretty damn solid. And I think that that's where we run into these issues of people saying, oh, this is just conservative ideology. Oh, it's left-wing or right-wing propaganda. No, it's not. It's human fucking nature. Whenever somebody's saying, hey, I want to make sure that my kids are good to go, whenever I'm old and gray and I can't help them out, I want to give them the tools to be good adults and do good by others and continue and prosper and procreate and all this kind of shit. This is just human. This is not Democrat, Republican. This isn't libertarian. This is none of that. They want the best for their children. They want the best for people. And the politics aside, this is what people want for each other. Just me. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I'm just saying, whenever you hear somebody wanting to chop off your kid's dick, I have little faith in their ideals. I have very little faith in them wanting to continue or populate this world. I question everything about them. This lady wants to chop off her child's dick. Just saying.
Had learned about this facility and lead up to the placement, did it seem like they'd be equipped to deal with this?
I just went based on what my insurance company would say and where to go. That it was an autism behavioral hospital. Right. That there were things I didn't think about in the planning of it and everything that later on, I saw why it wasn't necessarily a great placement. But
at the time, it seemed right.
At the time, it seemed right.
And I'm sorry, I think you said this. The plan on frequency of contact with them was going to be you're alternating with your husband.
Going like every month, like monthly.
Okay. And did that proceed as planned?
Do you think the husband might have said, listen, this bitch be crazy? Oh. This is so bad. This woman makes it so bad. Oh my fucking God. I'm sorry.
We started out, but then COVID hit and
and
everything got shut down to where we couldn't go see him.
That has nothing to do with it. This is a goddamn excuse. COVID has nothing to do with you being a shit fucking person. Sorry. COVID does not give you an excuse to be a shit person. This lady is being a shit person. Oh, well, COVID hit. Well, COVID is a goddamn excuse of some fucking weak-minded goddamn person. Well, COVID hit, and so it's because we couldn't get lady, I fucking hate these goddamn excuses. COVID hit. Fuck you.
We couldn't spend any time with him. The facility, if if you remember, COVID just shut down facilities where families were torn apart and they couldn't see each other. And during that time, a lot of staff was getting COVID, and the clients there were getting COVID. They were being isolated in their rooms. It was just a really chaotic time, and we lost the ability to be with them.
Before that, that certainly sounds like a significant point in time. But before that, was there any sort of assessments of his progress, any feedback you were getting? How was he doing?
I know, like, I think like in the first month that he was there, they talked about he had a hallucination that he was seeing something and saying, keep it away from me, keep it away from me. I know his.
More excuses, more reasons to say, oh, well, no, you got to be nice to my violent fucking spawn. This is supposed to be helping him out. She looks fucking psycho. I'd be like, listen, we're going to put him in a facility. Hopefully it has like nice padded cells where he can bounce off the fucking walls. But we need to get him the F away from you, lady. Oh my freaking God. Well, I can tell you this woman has done good. Brought chat, shizzy together and reminiscing of how things should be done. There you go.
His behavior was enough to where, though, we could go and take him out. My aunt and I would drive to see him. I flew into Atlanta, and my aunt and I would go and see him, and we took him to the zoo.
I love that. That's awesome.
With a trusted adult. So
it sounds like some degree of progress, perhaps. COVID that limits your contact or eliminates family contact. It throws the staff into disarray.
It's all COVID's fault.
The people that are residents. After that, so it sounds like things probably changed. How did it look after that? Did he remain at Springbrook?
So the original plan would have been for him to come straight back home from Springbrook had it gone according to plan. Had we been able to go and do weekends and spend time with him, and we would have gotten an Airbnb and stayed with him even for like a week up there, he would have come home. But because we didn't have that, we felt like we needed a step down, so that plan would be for him to step down and then come home. The Medicaid case manager had recommended connecting with APD and using a group home as a step down.
Yeah, so he did a step down. He stepped down on top of a teacher's head multiple times because she took away his toy. That was his step down.
Agency for Persons with Disabilities.
Yes.
So based on that recommendation, is that the next step? Is that where he goes?
That was the next step. And then while all the planning was going on and everything to even further cement that was what was going to happen, my husband suffered a massive heart attack, and we were dealing with his health as well.
If we could just back up 1 minute.
His health.
Do you feel like they ever got that medication combination correct? Or was it still, there's something off?
No, he was still off. And again, I mean, it was just such a time. I mean, COVID was such a factor in all of this.
Oh, yeah. COVID caused him to stomp a teacher into the ground.
They never took him off of all his medications. They just added to it.
You probably heard the testimony about some behavior problems while he was at Springbrook. Do you have any sense of what undergirds that?
No.
Is it medication not being right, or do you know?
I think.
Objection. She's not a doctor.
Objectionable question. I agree. So let's go back to the group home. Okay. Where is it?
Jesus
The group home
Christ.
is in Palm Coast.
Okay. What is it? Describe it a little bit.
It's an intensive behavioral group home. He was, when he was assessed, he was level 6. And they were able to accept level 6 clients.
What's your understanding of what that means? What's level 6?
Level 6 means that he needs the most support.
Substantial support.
Substantial support.
So why did you put him in the public school?
Concur with that. That sounds right. He needs that.
I did.
Now you do now.
You probably heard.
But yet you put him in a public school situation.
you disagree with that?
I absolutely disagree with that.
And she's not.
Did Dr. Pritchard interview you as part of his background work here?
No, he never reached out.
Jesus.
Would you have been available for that purpose?
I would have.
So,
yeah, Star Z, the first hit from that boy, she was unconscious because he's 6 foot goddamn 7, 230 fucking pounds, and she's like 5'2" and a female. What did you think was going to happen? And then he continued to pummel her. Why? Because she took away a toy. And this lady's laying in like, well, you know, he had some slight difficult issues, you know, he might have been a little aggressive, you know, and it's what the fuck is wrong with these people? If you're sitting there looking at this and you're just scratching your head, you're going, why, how could anybody let this happen?
Echo begins, the group home begins when?
November of 2020.
November 2020. And it lasts until?
Until his arrest.
Are you visiting him? Are you seeing him in the group home? What's this extent of your engagement with him during this time frame?
My husband and I would alter every 2 weeks. That I would go one, and then 2 weeks later he would go. I would go and bring my mother with me. She and I would take him out to eat. We would take him shopping, sometimes back to her house. My husband would take him and get a hotel room for the weekend and spend weekends with him. When we had holidays, we would rent Airbnb for 3 to 4 days, and as a whole family, go together to the Airbnb.
It sounds like he was getting along okay at Echo.
He was.
No, clearly he wasn't.
I don't remember when along the timeline, but at some point he's back in the public school system while at Echo. Is that correct?
That's correct.
When did that begin and why?
So when Echo accepted him, and I met with Echo and everything, they told me that he would have to go to a public school. And I was terrified of that. I didn't want him going to a public school, but they force all of their clients to go to public school. And they have like 8 or 9 group homes.
So it's a requirement to even be a resident.
It is. It's a requirement to be a resident. And they assured me that they worked well with the public school, that they were within 10 minutes if they needed to be.
Oh, so now you're going to blame the group home that said, no, he's going to have to go to public school because we need to break him of all the bad shit that you've been teaching him in your homeschooling bullshit. And I mean, I'm all for fucking homeschooling, but if you're homeschooling a child to shield the rest of the public from your child's misbehavior. And I will tell you that my neighbors, I have some wonderful neighbors. They homeschooled all of their children up to a certain point where they couldn't teach them anymore. They gave them wonderful life lessons. Those kids are so well adjusted and so goddamn sweet. They homeschooled all of their kids. Their oldest ended up going to high school for the last part of, I think it was the last 4 years. She did high school, and that was because she was just like, listen, I want to go to high school. I want to interact with other kids on a different level. I need to know what's going on. And she ended up doing really well in high school because she's a well-adjusted child. This lady did not adjust her child to handle being in a group situation whatsoever. She shielded him from all of the bad stuff that he was doing and saying, oh, it's okay, here, have a cookie. God. Oh, so aggravated with this lady.
It took, he moved there in November. It took the school system until March to place him.
What were your concerns about public school the same as we've already talked about?
It is that he easily is overwhelmed, and needed substantial support.
Echo sounds like tries to give you some assurances to say, wait, we have a support team on standby.
They did.
So now she's shifted the blame off of her because, oh no, I handed off my problem to somebody else. I foobarred the situation so bad that now I'm just going to let somebody else deal with my mess ups. And now this poor kid is going to be spending 5 years in prison and in a good portion of his adult life under probation. And do you think that he's probably going to reoffend? Because he wasn't given the tools. Because he got thrown into the system because of this twat muffin.
So the public school experiment begins when?
In March of 2021.
In March, okay. Otherwise at Echo during this time frame, was he doing okay? Is the feedback still decent?
No, it wasn't. Clearly he wasn't doing okay.
He definitely in the beginning when he first went there had more behaviors where they had a restraining. But then he would go through periods where he would do okay, but there was a definite progression in doing better. Like when he first started out there, he needed a lot more restraints. And then he needed less as time moved on.
Did you feel that, if he's going to be in public school, did you feel that their assurance to you that they were right on standby? Did you feel that that was a very important measure to have in place?
Yeah, I even asked if somebody from Echo could go to school with him.
Well, and CJ, here's the thing. I worked in this this restaurant, I guess is what you would call it. And we had this counter, and there was this girl that called her mom a bitch and then called her a cunt and started berating her mother because she was sitting there with one of her friends. And I stopped service at that point in time and said, no. The daughter was just looking at me because the daughter had taken the role. She had taken over her household. She had become the mother of her household, and she thought she could talk to her mother any way that she wanted to. She was calling her the most vile fucking things that I have ever heard a teenage daughter call her mother. And the mother sat there and just like, hey. I told him to fucking leave. I said, don't worry about the food. It's on me. Get out. Go away. If you're going to let your daughter talk to you this way and call you a bitch and call you a cunt and sit there and mock you, and you're not going to fucking correct her, get the hell out of my face. I couldn't tolerate that shit. And at this point, I'm still pretty goddamn young. I'm not as old as I am now. I couldn't even deal with that crap. If a mother is sitting there saying letting their child do these kinds of things and not correcting them, that is an issue with the mother and the daughter that it is dynamic. I don't even want to be dealing with. That was so bad. So bad. And this lady right here is no different. I would throw her on her ass in a heartbeat. There's no wonder why her husband doesn't want to have anything to do with her. God, this is just sickening.
My preference would have been as an Echo staff member attending with him, but I was told that wasn't an option. But again, my hands are kind of tied. This is a place that accepted him, and this is what they told me was going to happen.
At this point, what about, are there additional medical doctors in his life? Are there additional diagnoses?
He had a psychiatrist that met through virtual, because again, remember COVID. So everybody was doing virtual. So he had a virtual psychiatrist. Echo set him up with a primary doctor.
It sounds like we've talked about several diagnoses.
Oh, I'm sorry. And then also he had a private therapist
Right there.
that met with him weekly.
Okay, who was that?
Tanya Gilchrist.
Okay.
Wow.
Besides,
Man, I am starting to just get like pissed off where I just want to slap this lady around in like the worst possible way. Ladies and gentlemen, it is getting late. I'm going to send you fine people over to go see MG. Make sure that you give him a like. Hit the thumbs up whenever you get over there. I'm going to cover more of this probably tomorrow because this right here, I have not seen this yet. Whenever I hear this, I feel for this kid because this kind of crap could have been avoided a long time ago, but because of this psycho crazy bitch, whatever the hell she is, has not allowed it to happen. And this right here just is this is like the worst possible kind of human being. This is the worst possible kind of human being you can run into. And I'm gonna shut this thing down. I'm gonna send you guys over to see MG. Give him some love. Show him some love. I might swing by. I think he sent me an invite, so I'll probably swing by anyway. But just know that tomorrow is another day. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and listening to me babble on about absolute bullshit. And have a wonderful night. And we will see you very, very soon. Tomorrow morning. Peace, y'all.
George, psst. Are you ready to show everybody where our new home is?
Before we show you, we want to show you why. Why the Hales would we buy where we bought?
What did you say?
I said, Jeremy, I'm a huge fan.
George is out in the parking lot. Look at that. Am I on the naughty list?
When we don't even drink it. There was one improvement. I actually received this bill 1 day after its due date. Every meeting. And you're gonna bring the police to remove me.
I didn't start this war with the neighbors, but I fully intend on winning it.
I can't, sir. I cannot hear you very well. Not at all. I have to hold you up to my ear to hear you. Something is wrong. Can you please check your mic? I do not have perception of time. I don't have perception of dates and times. I do not, and my brain does not